A world nearly destroyed by a cataclysm, saved by the actions of heroes long gone. A world that has survived, recovered, and even thrived. This is the world of Tyr. Here, the descendants of those heroes and the other survivors of the cataclysm have built great nations, the 8 pillars that support the world. Nearly 1,500 years after the cataclysm, the world is one of relative calm. However, beneath this veneer of peace, great forces move. With every shift and shudder, they threaten to disrupt the delicate balance that keeps the pillars standing. Now, across the world, knowingly or not, people must become heroes, or the pillars will fall and Tyr will be no more. Join us as we follow some of those heroes and see their struggles to keep their world from destruction. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tyr, Moontree Isle. Sorry, just a second. I had to sit there and get my mic off of push to talk for a second. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Galway. I'm one of the founders of Helpful Goat Gaming, a small independent game design and game content creation community. And tonight we're playing some Dungeons and Dragons in a incredibly modified version of it with Tyr, Moontree Isle, following the adventures of the Marauders. It's good to see that we are seen and heard, as Chelsea has posted a poem. We'll get to that when we hit intros. Before we hit intros, couple brief housekeeping notes. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have a special Tyr one-shot. So if you're not tired of listening to me, you can come see a one-shot in the world of Tyr, which will also feature Sam and Chris, along with Andy and the Helpful Goat debut of Debbie. We're really looking forward to that. Should be some good lore. Has also some actually really interesting tie-ins with this exact session of Moontree Isle. I didn't actually design it that way. It just ended up that way. So we have that coming up on Saturday. If you are interested in following us, getting notifications when we go live, you can follow us here on Twitch. You can also cheer and subscribe. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free with Twitch Prime. Cheering and subscribing give us financial benefits, which helps us do more of this thing that we love doing. If you want to support us more directly, you can also use !coffee, KO-FI command in chat, and it'll take you to our coffee page where you can donate to Helpful Goat. Besides that, as I mentioned, we are a game design and game content community, and that community has been just frankly really full of wonderful, loving people, like the people you see on your screen. Got me through 2020. We do events like movie nights, game days, we do internal streams of games, etc., and use !Discord in the chat, and you can get a link to join our Discord where we hang out and just have a really good time. There will be programming announcements coming up next week, and a special programming announcement will be coming tomorrow with the one shot. And then, yeah, covered most of it. I'm just trying to get through and remember to do introductions this time, because last time I was so excited about the trailer, we just kind of blew on through it, and that's been a theme for the week already. So I was just dying when yesterday on Spire, you guys were like, we forgot to do introductions. I'm like,
yeah, just halfway through.
It worked perfectly, because
like,
then when Tyler had to duck out, we were like, oh, now let's circle.
So yeah, the only other thing I wanted to highlight is that if you use exclamation point and donate in the chat, and it looks like Chelsea has posted that up, you can see a charity that we're highlighting right now, which is the Trevor Project, which benefits LGBTQ youth in America. There's just numerous challenges that particular group faces, and they're challenges that frankly, kids should have to face. No one should have to face. So we really encourage you to reach out. You can use the Trevor Project to look for links and more information, and we especially encourage you to look for local charities in your area that benefit the same community, that benefit the same causes, because donations of your time, your money, your effort, your connections, etc., will go really way farther at the local level than they do at the national. But as always, anything you can do, we deeply appreciate, even if that's primarily educating yourself and maybe other people. Cool. Let's see. I think that covers all of the sort of announcements and gaming stuff. So let's go ahead and skip into intros for tonight. As I mentioned, my name is Galway, my pronouns are he, him, his, and I am the DM for tonight's adventure and the creator of the world of Tyr. I will now, I think it was meant to be a venerating gesture, but I'm going to pass it over to the man in the helmet, Sam, who was sort of between either veneration or...
It was absolutely veneration.
Something vaguely obscene. I wasn't entirely sure, but anywho.
I was jazz fingers. Obscene. Okay.
I'm just saying on the overlay where you were sort of like reaching. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, you were you were tickling his underbits.
I was gonna say this was more a function of the overlay than anything.
Oh, now I'm doing it to Chris.
Yeah. We're just...
Sam, for the love of God.
Hi everyone. We're gonna just press onward with introductions, okay? All right. I am Sam. I go by he, him, his. Hi, the man in the mask. I play Dent, the enchanted suit of armor, who also goes by he, him, his. And I will pass things over to this direction, which I believe is to Heather? Question mark?
I think it is. All right, I'm Heather. I go by she, her, hers. I play Ressa, who is a dwarven cleric of the Forge. She is also she, her, hers. And I am going to go straight up to Elise.
Hi, I'm Elise. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I play the human rogue, Minnow Row, whose pronouns are also she, her, hers. And I just want us to not forget to read Chelsea's poem before introductions are done. And then I'm going to go past Galway. We're skipping. Is this right? Skip Galway. Chris?
Yes.
I don't know why, but every time you introduce Minnow as the human rogue, it sounds so weird.
Human rogue.
Like, what is the human? I don't know that concept.
There's just like, for whatever reason, my brain just went like when you were like saying that sounds so weird. Like I just wanted to go straight to like cannibalism of like very tasty. Like
the sapien rogue.
Yeah.
Sapien rogue. We'll have to take that up. Yeah. You know what, Rachel? Don't judge me. You played a cannibal for a whole season.
And I barely ate people a little.
Barely. Anyways, I'm Chris, she, her, hers. And I play the Tabaxi fighter, Catch, and he is he, him, his. And I will go down and I will finger Rachel's head.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
I really should separate us, Galway.
Right, I go by she, her, hers, and I play Nero, the hold on. Oh, the moss giant. That's what the Veggie Pygmies called me. A Firbolg monk who goes by he, him, his.
I was very confused what you were having to look up. I'm like, I
was
know
trying to remember.
I know I keep forgetting what class Virgil is, but I'm like, Firbolg?
I play Nero. He's a something.
Something?
Yeah,
to be fair, I keep doing that with Virgil. Like,
I do
really like
love the moss giant. Yeah, that is great.
Very good. Who would like to read Chelsea's poem?
I'll do it.
See it.
Awesome.
Where's it at?
Okay.
There it is.
There's so much magic here in Moontree City. Just thinking about it makes me super giddy. Motorcycles in D&D, Nero's happy little hose and time-traveling disguises, Magitech lore, and so many plot surprises. Mr. Jimbles, the best Tressum, I want 10 or more. This campaign continues to leave my mind blown and jaw on the floor. So much excitement for everything you're about to do. Much love, Tier Crew. I can see and hear you.
Okay, my first thought definitely was Nero has hose. So sorry.
And nice little pumps, little moss giant pumps, you know. Yeah,
Yes.
No. So before we get started with the recap for tonight, one thing that I had noted to the players, and it's just worth noting to the audience as well, as they already kind of discovered in the first skirmish when they landed here, I've used a variety of modern D&D sources, including an Unearthed Arcana released by Wizards of the Coast, and more heavily a free to use, freely circulated Cyberpunk supplement on the Open Game license called the Technomancer's Textbook. One of the side effects of this, though, is that modern weapons are more damaging, and in a bounded accuracy system like D&D, they're not more likely to hit, they're just as likely to hit as anything else, but they do more damage. HP and armor isn't really catching up. So
I just remembered that Minnow stole a gun last game. I'm so excited.
Yep. This is going to be interesting.
But so the players have been told this, and so all I'm doing with regard to sort of the home brewing of things is I'm often taking default D&D creatures and I'm updating their weaponry. The other effect that this will have is that Moontree City, as actually our poem just pointed out, is a much more magical area than Moontree Isle and the world of Tyr generally, so that magical enemies may be more common. So all of this poses greater threats to people, to the sort of marauders as they're exploring this new area. My camera just keeps like color shifting as I talk with my hands, and it's really getting to me because I do that. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to everybody. And what is the recap?
I've been told
Most of us forgot to take notes.
it's up to me. So,
We were too excited and into it, so we were like, I didn't take notes last time.
I'm perfectly
I don't know.
happy for you to have been really excited and into it, so this is fine.
I have a big thing saying motorcycle minigame.
motorcycle minigame.
Yeah.
In the city,
Nice.
in the city, we did some reacting to being in the city. We found out that where we came from, the door that we came through, was now called the Underroad, which we're assuming is some kind of subway or underground road system that we did not actually go into. Then there were sirens from the sky, and the Dracon Corps guards came down. We thought they were cops at first, which was exciting only in the sense that, and I'm about to get political, sorry, that we're going to get to fuck up some cops. And then it turned out we were just fucking up some corporation guards, which also is exciting. But we didn't really, because they were very strong. And there was a leader who was maybe human, and then the other ones were in helmets. After we tried to resist being captured, we got in a big fight. The Helmet Boys. We did name them Leader Boy, Helmet Boy, and Gun Boy. Baton Boy and Gun Boys.
Don't remember this at all.
Pony Boy
You did.
there.
They were like activated with like little red lights in their helmets, but we did determine that they are actual people and not constructs of some kind in the armor suits. And then a new figure arrived in a van and told us to get on the motorcycles. This person was masked and they had a big machine gun of some kind and shot the guards. And then we had a motorcycle chase mini game. And we thankfully did not have someone cast Dellen cast Shape Earth and destroy all the motorcycles behind him, which would have been all the motorcycles except Catches. Then the person who saved us came back. They told us using message or sending I don't remember what spell, to turn left, get off our motorcycles, blend in, lay low, wait for me, I'll be there as soon as I can. We found the kiosk that Nero tried to buy stuff from. We found some clothing stores that Minnow investigated to see if we could figure out how transactions work, but it's clear that it's like biometric data, so for money of some kinds. The clothes are very dissimilar to our own, so we disguised ourselves with cloaks and things as best we could so that we wouldn't stand out too badly. And then shops are staffed by constructs more like Dent than fleshy folk. That's what I have verbatim, fleshy folk. Nero asked a Tressum, which is a flying cat, where to go. We eventually named the Tressum Mr. Jimbles. Well, I shouldn't say named. Eventually asked and got permission to call the Tressum Mr. Jimble.
As I just kept guessing names.
Jimbles.
Yes.
It was plural.
Jimbles.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Jimbles.
And then it turns out that Tressum is smarter than most of our party.
Definitely smarter
And
than
so,
Retta.
we
And
asked it some.
As I just wanted to mention, as Chelsea and then Lena both mentioned in chat, Minnow almost killed Ressa.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I forgot to mention I stole the gun, and then I was shooting the gun off the back of the motorcycle.
You were while driving a motorcycle, a thing Minnow does not know how to do. Shooting a gun, a thing that Minnow does not know how to do.
Yes. So that was great. And one time it went well, and then Minnow got overconfident. Surprise. Did it again, and then shot Ressa instead of the car that was chasing us.
Sorry, so the reference in the poem makes sense. Nero's motorcycle straight up almost exploded because of a difficulty while driving, and luckily at the last minute he figured out not to plug the little hose into the thing where he's like, oh yeah, this is where it goes, and then noticed it was catching fire and quickly rerouted, thereby avoiding blowing up the entire motorcycle.
So then Mr. Jimbles took us to a little alcove of benches that was pretty well screened, but just like a spot in the park to kind of sit. And then our mystery friend showed up a little while ago, who they talk like us, not like people from the future, which was kind of our first clue that maybe they were someone that was from our time period and not from the city time period. And then they guide us to a vehicle, which eventually gets us away from, they said, just get away from Drakon, like those people. So we know that they're kind of being set up as someone who might Drakon Corp or whatever might be trying to nefarious things. And then there's a big tree that we go past in the middle where the rain does not fall on the tree itself. We hear the noise that we've been hearing in the rainstorms and see the lights and put together that like the lights that we've been seeing and the noises are the cars cutting through the rain and the flying cars cutting through the rain. From the future. And then it turns out that it's Asana, the daughter of Verdir, who we've been tasked to find, who is the one who saved us. And we all took 2 points of exhaustion.
Related to that, I figured it'd be best to just kind of throw in my over the table theory here. My thinking is that, you know, when time travel and stuff were happening to us, it's always been underground. Like back in the church-like building, back in the cave system, and I think it might be because of the roots of the tree. Those are my thoughts. Leaving that there, And Galway, take it away.
Very good. So yeah, we're gonna pick up pretty much straight off of where you guys were. Nope, I don't control things from that one. Come on, go away. Play the. So yeah, you got led in. Asana, both flew the car and then drove for a little bit. Sort of pulled it into what seems like a garage, in modern terms, for this. Parked the car, led you all sort of down a hallway. Put her palm on a plate that you saw on the wall that seemed very similar to the plates that people were using to pay for things. Door slid open, walked in. She took off her mask, revealing a sort of golden green lizard folk young woman who introduced herself. And sort of picking up right from there, she's going to sort of like look at you and be like, I think for now you should sleep. You are most likely very tired, and you've had to go through a lot in what little I've seen.
I know your dad. Your dad's Birdier.
Yes.
I told him that we would find out what happened to you. He sent us here.
Here is a strong word for where he sent us.
Here.
No, he sent us to Moontree Isle to then go and find you, and then we had a lot of interactions with people.
Took us to Moontree Isle.
That's true.
Could we, Asana, I'm probably about to pass out, and I'm just curious, are you going to be here when I wake up?
Yes, I will keep watch in the night, and I will ensure nothing happens. I will be here in the morning, and I will answer your questions, and I think you could probably understand, especially if you know my father, that I have some questions for you as well.
Yeah, your father is a very nice man. He's open to growth, and I like that.
That natural 20 persuasion or whatever back in the day. Back from, yeah. For Deer's
Better
repentance.
yourself.
Asana's like, interesting. I don't remember that about my dad.
Yes, I will keep watch. And she's actually just a second. I just realized I didn't do this.
Oh, I was like, what's this?
Ooh,
So
we
this is
shared a
where
bed.
This is where you walked in. And so sort of you're still in this entrance hallway. She will say, like, I have some simple food if you would like to eat before you sleep, or I just remember when I showed up here I was very tired.
Exhausted would be the right word, I think.
Yes. Please rest, sleep through here, and she'll this door she doesn't actually like palm pad like she did the outer one. There's a doorknob, and she'll turn it and open it, and you can see there are 5 sort of simple cots laid out, and then she's gonna tap a keypad on the wall. Like, it looks, again, another pad, but instead of putting her palm against it, she's pressing buttons, and the sort of very simple dividers are gonna pop out of the walls, that are separate, screening off essentially the little cots from each other. And again, she's like, there's some food, kitchen, simple fruits, etc. And help yourself to anything you wish, but get some rest.
Birdier said you were only missing 3 days. How do you have all this? Are you still 15?
We'll have to talk more in the morning, but this is
Mira's just gonna keep asking
the
questions.
3rd year that I have lived in Moontree City.
Oh,
Okay.
more time stuff, I guess.
Days are years. Years or days.
Minnow's not
Hopefully
happy to hear this.
Yeah, well, at least it's working in our favor in the sense that, like, when we go home, everyone's not going to be dead that we know. Oh, God, I need to sleep. Oh, my God.
Should have thrown a horse in.
Dylan?
I'm now just, incidentally, I'm now just picturing, like, this same scene and setup, except there's also a horse in the hallway. And Asada just being like, okay, so
Who brought the horse?
I'm happy to help you, but the shit. Yeah, so she's indicated that sort of up through the Northway is a kitchen, and there's probably some sort of food, like just fruit, ready to eat stuff. The beds are through there. She will look and she's like, I do not have enough beds there for you. Perhaps one of you could...
I don't need to lay down.
Oh.
I don't need to sleep.
Um,
I don't do that.
Would a cushion be comfortable for you?
I think I just need like a nice wall to kind of stand in front of.
Oh, all right. Blanket?
Yes, I will take one of those. A blanket.
Oh no, there's blankets on the beds. She's like, there's
Minnow's
blankets
exhausted.
on
Minnow's
the bed.
I'm
I meant
surprised
for-
Minnow hasn't already walked over to one.
I'll
Right,
take
pretty much.
I'll take a towel and to pad dry off.
Of course, and she'll like walk in and come back with sort of an armful of towels, and perhaps you could hand one to your friend who seems very, very tired of everything.
Smell like wet cat and wet cow in here.
Hey,
It is fine. And then she leaves this door open, and you all now can see there seems like a sitting area beyond. And as you're watching, she's gonna sort of, at the door, she pulled sort of her boots off, and now she herself is toweling off a bit and sits down heavily, and then pulls the gun that you saw, the weapon that you saw her use off, and is sort of dismantling it. And like laying the pieces out, is cleaning them, seems to be checking something like along her arm, etc. But yeah, everybody else is free to go lay down.
Nero is gonna walk to the doorway. And
Yes, can I help you?
I know that we need to sleep, but are you okay? Do you have any questions that would help ease your mind before you go to sleep?
You are very kind. My father is alive,
Yes.
and you say it has only been 3 days.
Well, it was 3 days when he talked to me. It's been less than a week because we didn't really sleep much, so maybe 5 or 6 days.
If you didn't sleep for like 3 days before you got here, you should definitely go to sleep now.
Oh, we really need to sleep. It's true. But your father is alive and worried about you. He's on Moontree Isle right now, actually. Well, I don't know about right now, because if you've 3 years here and then the time changed.
I assure you that nothing that you're thinking about right now is going to be easier in your current condition. I would recommend you sleep. We will speak in the morning. I look forward to it.
All right. Night.
Good night. You're gonna and anyone who's left can see like her pull back her cowl a little bit, and it seems like a lot of her suit is again sort of similarly to the suits of the Drakon or the guards that you saw. Pieces of it joined together, and even though mostly it looks like cloth, it is much more reinforced. It is obviously protective in a way that you are not accustomed to something that just looks like clothes be.
Dylan, aren't you tired?
Oh, yes, extremely.
Okay, good night.
And Ressa will see him just sort of walk in and just go, "Eh," face first. Just be like, sort of lay the towel over himself. Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Poor
This is
Dylan.
fine.
Yeah, Ressa's probably already out.
Very good.
Do we lose both points of exhaustion tonight, or do only
No,
one?
you'll lose one.
Okay.
Elise, go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
I
19.
like that.
I like that too.
Hope so.
So you all,
Roll 28 to make
except
it.
for Dent, sort of tuck yourselves in various states of tucked in versus sprawled on mattress. It's not the most comfortable mattress in the world, but it feels really, really good after, everything that's happened. As you're sort of laying down, you notice that everything in here is pretty plain. Everything is pretty bare. But there are drawings on the walls, very beautifully executed, animals and plants, some of which are very familiar to you and look like things that you've seen, and some that look very strange. But it's a very elegant, sort of smooth, confident drawing style. And Nero, as you lay down, you remember Berdir telling you that Asana drew, and that was one of her passions, was art. Then Asana will sort of see you and like, you could also wait in there with them if you prefer, or in here with me, whatever is best for you.
I equip my great sword, except I'm just kind of like in position, and I think right here is fine by the door in case anything happens.
A wise precaution. Have a good night. She seems to have been leading into like sleep well and then thought better of it with what you had said. So, yeah, you all very quickly close your eyes. Some of you are falling asleep almost as you hit the mattress.
I would just want to say that I tell Asana I am a good knight.
I am sure you are. Ressa, you feel the pillow under your head. You sort of feel your body relax. Then you close your eyes and wonder what the hell you all have gotten yourselves into. And then you feel the sweat running down your arms, soaking into the clothes beneath the apron that is protecting you from the forge. You are counting slowly and deliberately in your head. The iron is red hot. The crystal looks as it always does. Keep counting. Iron white hot. Your neck drips with sweat, your beard tied safely behind your head. You watch the small ingot begin to shift ever so slightly. Not yet. You've seen it before. Not yet. You steady your breathing, keep counting slowly, steadily. You've pounded the rhythm of this count into yourself the way your parents did the rhythm of the hammer at the forge. Years of study, preparing for this. The ingot puddles, iron liquid, still the crystal holds. You steel yourself, and the count. Count. You pull the crystal from the fire and grab your hammer. You raise it, and for a heartbeat pause. You're right. This will change everything. What should you try to craft? What item should you make to test knowledge that could change the world? You almost gasp with relief as you bring your hammer down and see the crystal begin to shape and twist into a ring. You hammer it, twist it, make the crystal take the form you envisioned, then plunge it into the quenching pool. You pull it back out and nearly collapse in relief. It is flawless. You now know how long after iron melts with a full blast forge. You can control the crystals. You look at the fine hammers and wrenches on the workbench across from you. Soon it will be their time. You can control the crystal. Next you will integrate it. Minnow, you go to bed and you sit and you think days to years, years to days, how far you are from home. You don't even have a way to measure at this point because time itself seems flexible in some way. What does it mean? Are you separated by time, by distance? How much do either mean? And as you sit with that thought, you sit and you feel the dark of night enveloping you as you sit on the roof of your home. Arden is sleeping beneath you, safe, peaceful. It's taken a lot of work for those things to be true. But you do it all again. Your parents and sister are a couple blocks away. Again, safe, peaceful. Ressa's home a bit farther, light flickering the ground floor. She's likely working on the forge. She's done little else in the past few months. You see the lights near the horizon swaying slightly. Probably Nero coming back? Updates will need to be sent, hopefully with plenty of information. Updates, and maybe Nero will bring answers as to what you didn't see. You should have checked, but you didn't think to. Don't make that mistake anymore. You've learned. You hold up the lockets, identical in every way, except for the runes inscribed on them. You're going to find out what it means, what they are, why you have them, and you're going to find who's responsible. Ketch, you are always active and ready, but even you are very, 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 very ready to go to sleep at this point. You are soaking wet, which is not a fun thing. You are tired. You have been shot at a lot. You have been chased by seafood, which is not the way it's supposed to go. Just everything in the last day, ? Has not been what you thought it should be. And so you sort of curl up in bed. You've toweled yourself off vigorously and chucked it away, pulled blankets over yourself. Sort of close your eyes. Try to think back on things. And you place the quill back in its stand. You rub your eyes and crick your neck. You unloop the string holding your tail to your chair arm, stand up and stretch. A long day of work, but valuable. Dangerous work, but that's nothing new. You look at the pile of documents, 2 manuscript chapters, some official missives, and the letter. That letter. So many things have been found out, so many notes and books with fun codes, each finding their way back to you, and from you the information making its way to where it would do the most good. You found out so much. Maybe more than you ever wanted. But there's work to be done. You hear a slight clatter and spin, hand hovering at your blade. Pickles walks in, trying to get a leather chest plate on. Bro, your armor is kind of tight. I mean, I know it's good quality and everything, but like, you think maybe one of your friends could look into making this something that doesn't choke me? Pickle stands almost a head taller than you, far wider at the shoulders. He's going out with a group of his friends, a caravan guarding operation. Simple, clean, just like it used to be for the Marauders. Not anymore. Too much knowledge, too many secrets. He looks over at the letter at the top of the stack. That letter. Why does your friend in Tormenrail keep having you transcribe recipes? You smile. Spell works every time. Dent, you've settled in, hand on your great sword in a sort of traditional decorative armor, very much like you. If you had a little base to stand on, you would absolutely look like a suit of armor just arranged at a palace on display. You stand perfectly still. You watch Asana sort of fiddling with the weapon that she has. And as much as you do not know the workings of it, you recognize cleaning and maintaining a weapon in what she's doing. Small vials of what you would assume are oil, sort of paper cleaning, making sure everything is working. And as you settle in, you keep watch on the very plain steel door and the very plain door where your friends are, and through the open door where Asana is, and there's very little to watch. You begin sort of idly fiddling with your greatsword ever so slightly. And as you do, your mind drifts until till you snap back to attention. Oi! You drifting off on me again. And you look up and see a scarred, grizzled elven man. He's wearing mismatched, heavy armor, his left arm supported by a sling. He seems to pause for a moment, holding a bowl of something, sizing you up, and then an easy smile passes across his face. He'll slump down onto the ground next to you, the campfire between you and he. I'm kidding. You earned it. The North Ward was hell. I know that much. You lot did a good job holding it as long as you did. Pauses for a moment. Sorry, I know that a lot of your group didn't come back. I heard you put yourself in harm's way a fair amount. Most of those who came back said it were due to you. And Den, as he says this, you know that he is without hesitation grouping you in with the other forces, the humans, the dwarves, the elves, all of them. He sees you as just another member. And that makes you happy, as much death as you've seen. He leans back and rubs his jawline. Wasn't a picnic anywhere, though. I hear tell they're thinking of pulling us all the way back, abandoning the whole island. Nero. Your mind races with thoughts of, this is Asana. What has she seen? How has it been 3 years when it's been 3 days, 5 days, or whatever? It should have been days, not years. That math at least doesn't add up. What is this place? Is Mr. Jimbles warm? All these questions are sort of racing through your mind. And you stop and you sort of focus yourself the way you were taught to. And your eyes are closed in meditation. Your breath slow, regular. You hear and allow to pass by you the sounds of the forest. Birds calling, the leaves are rustling. You feel a prickle in your mind and slowly open your eyes. A squirrel sits and looks up at you. You had sent him to look for your veggie pygmy friend several minutes ago. Then you hear the rustling of the small plants. The squirrel bows to you and takes the small pile of acorns you had gathered for him. The veggie pygmies bring the papers to you. The last time you had been here, you asked them to gather all the information they could about the stone that had been taken. You barely need to scan the papers for your fears to be confirmed. You smile at them, make small talk for a few minutes, and dust yourself off. You walk back to your wagon. Not long before you're back to Amberheart, before you can hand your information off, have it sent on. You've always been good at running, but the weeks driving back and forth was never something you anticipated. Lots of time to think about what you've found out, though. Not so many things. Tyr, your own story. Neither story is ended. But you're going to have to fight like hell to keep it that way. And with that, you all wake. Then, though you never really went to sleep because you do not sleep, this felt very akin to when you sort of snap back to awareness as Asana stirs in the kitchen to the vision you had had in Tormenryle of you. It's like you were still awake but had no access to seeing anything around you, if that makes sense. And it does seem very akin to what other people have referred to as dream. But you all are now level 7. You have gained the effects of your level up. We can roll for HP. And Um, for just the mechanics of it, each member of the Marauders has gained essentially a new feat, which might have had something to do with the contents of the things that were just described. So we can go through and maybe if we take it in turn, people can describe what their feature is, and we can roll their HP die and just sort of go through one at a time that way. Would like to go first?
I'll go. I'm excited. All right. I'll roll my hit die first. Oh, I'll take yours,
I
Galway.
imagine you're taking mine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Hey,
oh,
that went
that's
from
beautiful.
a 1 to an 8.
All right, my con
Elise,
mod.
your 3D dice are off again, I think.
Oh,
I
they
saw
are?
them.
Mine rolled.
Oh, I
thought.
didn't see it.
I will double check it just to make sure.
I saw it.
3D dice. Yeah, they're all
Okay.
on.
It's been slow for me, so maybe it's just coming up.
Yeah,
late.
I saw Galway's and I
Roll
didn't.
20
I
has
didn't
been
see
straight
yours,
up trying to
whatever.
disconnect me from the server almost all night, so
Yeah,
I'm
that's
real
what it did to
nervous
me
if I
last
ever
time.
hit something where like GM wise I actually need to be fucking controlling something.
Yep.
So my con mod is 0, so I'm up to 43 hit points from that
Ooh.
8, which just thank you for rolling that 8. My special feat, which I love so very much, is called Suspicion Transcending Time, which is a great name for a minnow who just can't trust anybody. It says you gain proficiency with disguise kits if you already have proficiency with disguise kits, which I did not. Then I would have gained expertise. You can give yourself advantage when making an insight check on a creature that I have previously made an insight check against. You use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier, which is currently 3. And regain all expended uses when you complete a long rest. You gain the ability to cast Wrathful Smite without expending a spell slot. Intelligence is my spell casting ability. I can cast a Wrathful Smite using this feature once, and you regain the ability to do so on a long rest. And then Wrathful Smite, just so you know, is the next time you hit with a melee weapon, your attack deals an extra 1d6 psychic damage, and that creature must make a wisdom saving throw or be frightened of me until Minnow just makes everybody scared of her. That's what her spells and her weapons do. And as an action, I can make them do a wisdom check, or they can do a wisdom check too.
They can burn their action to try to end
Yes.
frightened.
Yes, but it uses their action. They don't just get it on their turn,
Yep.
which is cool. That's it. So very exciting. Suspicion Transcending Time.
I'll go next.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're next in the stream overlay order at the moment.
Sweet. So my hit dice is a D10, so let's go for it.
Okay, that's gonna make it hard. You rolled a 5.
Let's I'll take yours.
Oh,
Damn.
Slightly worse. So you'll gain 5 HP. Max and current.
It really wanted to be an 8. It really wanted to be an 8. I saw it. Fuck. Okay. It's okay. I have an incredible amount of health compared to the rest of the party. All right. So mine, although for my ability, having additional health wouldn't have been bad. So my ability is, and the rest of y'all abilities titles can suck it because mine's the best. Friendship is magic armor.
Good.
And
Very good.
I gain proficiency with Smith's tools, which I did not already have. As a reaction, when I see a friendly creature within 30 feet of me get hit by an attack roll, a weapon, spell, or other, I can then magically switch places with them. You automatically are hit by the attack roll, regardless of AC, and take the damage and all other results of the attack normally. If any effects of the attack require a saving throw, you make your save normally. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus and regain all expended uses upon completion of a long rest. I also gain the ability to cast comprehend languages without expending a spell slot. Intelligence is my spell casting ability for the spell, and I can cast comprehend languages using this feature once. You regain the ability to cast a spell upon completion of a long rest.
Nice.
Oh, Galway, Sam and I, we need to attune to those weapons, right? Were we waiting
Your
to
sleep,
do that?
I think, could.
Yeah, with
were
your
we waiting to do that for that? Okay.
Yeah, basically we've role played it as you're just waking up to complete your rest, but with the spare time, I'm fine with fudging you've slept because you were tired as hell,
Just wanted
but
to
you've
make
done
sure.
your attunement. So yeah, you are now each attuned. Sam or Dent is attuned to Thunder and Lightning. Ketch is attuned to Lost Legacy.
For possible future, could you remove that item from my the Lost Legacy from my inventory?
Oh, sure.
It's just going to confuse me having it there. I'm like, wait, which one's actually mine?
Yeah. I'll do that in a second. I'll do that on a break. Rachel.
Me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to get you a good HP roll.
Okay, I have to maybe sneeze? I don't know. It's a D8. Let's see.
Is your sneeze related to the D8?
6.
Nice.
I feel like I should just take it.
Please, just take it. I'm really scared of fucking rolling a 1.
And then having none. Hey, guess what? I am now above 30 hit points.
Whoa!
I'm
And
at
how
a
many do you
whopping
have?
31.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
real beefy.
How many hit points do you have, Dent? Sorry.
Oh yeah, Russell likes to keep
59.
track.
59. Thank you.
Yeah, I gained like 5 new things this level up, which was cool. But I'm gonna say that my name was also great, Sam, and it's a cowman of his word. And I gained proficiency with land vehicles, so now I can drive motorcycles proficiently. Oh yeah. I also, as a reaction, when I see a friendly creature within 30 feet get hit. Nope, that's your thing. You did your thing and you made it so I couldn't read my thing. I was like, that's not my thing. It's not my thing.
You started reading it? I'm like, I'd swear to Christ, yours was not a reaction.
No, you could give yourself advantage on a skill check made to help someone that you've given your word to help. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier, which is 3, and regain all expended uses when you complete a long rest. So basically, if I promise to help someone, I get advantage at helping them, which is great because I promised to help a lot of people. You gain the ability to cast Beast Bond without spending a spell slot. Wisdom is my spell casting ability for the spell. I can cast Beast Bond using this feature once. You regain the ability to cast the spell using this feature when you complete a long rest. Beast Bond is pretty cool. So now not only can I talk to plants once a day, I can also, let me click it into the thing. I can establish a telepathic link with one beast that I touch that is friendly to me or charmed by me. The spell fails if the beast's intelligence score is 4 or higher. Until the spell ends, the link is active while you and the beast are within sight of each other. Through the link, the beast can understand your telepathic messages to it, and it can telepathically communicate simple emotions and concepts back to you. While the link is active, the beast gains advantage on attack rolls against any creature within 5 feet of you that you can see. So basically, for 10 minutes, if we go somewhere and I see like a tiger or something, I could just be like, "Hey, tiger, you want to fight for us?" And they'd be
But
Be
what
like,
I
friendly
really
to you.
hope we do is every day Jebediah is for 10 minutes.
advantage on attack rolls.
Yeah,
and it's
just like little bites.
Tigers wouldn't be friendly to me.
I could see Minnow
You're
losing her shit if Nero just walks up to this tiger. Hey, friend, would you like to fight for us?
Wait,
So-
we can combine this ability with the cat's paw ring and
Oh my
just have a
God,
horde
no.
of cats to
Oh
It's
my
only
God.
one creature, though, sadly.
But if you
Oh.
get the creature to convince the other creatures to fight
Right.
for you.
And don't forget, I do have Speech of Beast and Leaf, Galway, where I have advantage on charisma checks when convincing plants or animals to do things for me.
I'm aware.
Galway,
So incidentally,
Galway.
when I was
Galway.
when I was writing, I let you talk to grass. When I was going through and writing these abilities up, under Rachel's spell, there is just a note, "Oh God, why did I do this to myself?" Because it was the right choice. It was absolutely the right choice for flavor. But I'm like, couldn't have given her like fucking plant growth or something? Nope. Had to let her talk to all the things. All the things that shouldn't be NPCs are now NPCs.
Know that if it's bedtime and I haven't spoken to a beast or a plant, that I will before I go to sleep, right?
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oh God.
I'm 100% aware.
So Tree, tell me a bedtime story.
I'm
Oh,
fucking Tree. Russell, why don't we flash ahead? Let's
Right.
go next.
I've got a D8.
Jesus Christ. Almost everyone's rolling right in the middle.
Yeah.
That one did not roll for me.
It's a 4. All right, I'm gonna take a chance, Galway.
Oh.
It was a bad chance. It was a bad chance.
no.
Went from a 4 to a 1.
Okay. So, and then I add my con mod.
Mm-hmm.
3,
Which is
so
hopefully
I am
high?
gaining 4 hit points
Not bad.
for
Not
a
bad.
total of
Wow. I
50.
dream of a character who has a con modifier.
Constitution huge.
Yeah, no, I feel ya.
Wisdom and
I
con.
made-
And then let's see. I got Insightful Heart, Skilled Hands. I just lost it. There we go. Put it in the chat.
Already?
It's
Oh.
fleeting. The
Yeah.
heart is fleeting.
So I gained proficiency with Tinker's Tools, which I did not already have. I can use an action to make an insight check on a creature. If it's successful, I've got advantage on skill checks and attack rolls against the creature for the next minute, which is awesome. Attacking a creature affected by this ability ends the ability. And I can use this feature 3 times because that's my proficiency bonus. It's 3 times per long rest. And I also gained the ability to cast Heroism without spending a spell slot. And Heroism is pretty cool. Spells. Heroism. A willing creature I touch is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to my spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of its turns. And when the spell ends, the target loses any remaining temporary hit points from the spell, and I can cast it at higher levels for more creatures.
There's some cool synergy between that ability and my ability.
Yeah, I like that.
My turn.
Yep.
All right, I got a D10 to roll. I was real excited. It looked like it was going to land on that 9 and then that 8.
Nope. Once again, it's right in the fucking middle.
Get a 4.
Sorry.
I was like, what the heck? That's
I didn't mean it.
Your HP is now disguise kit.
I rolled a 4.
She should
You
be
know
able
what?
to use that one.
I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll for me, Galway. Let's see what you can do.
8.
8. Fuck yeah. No, why did not roll for me? I've been kicked out of roll 20
It just rolled
twice,
twice for me.
and I don't see it at all. So
you
it was
don't
an
even
8.
show up in roll 20 across the bottom for me as like in roll 20 right now.
Who
yeah,
did?
you
It's
sure
like,
don't.
yeah. It
Oh,
says like
yeah.
you're currently disconnected, basically.
I suspect then you're the person who I've been seeing because like out of the
Yes.
corner of my eye, I've been
Yes.
seeing a person like I've been seeing the
It
line
pops
go like
and goes.
ching, ching,
Yes.
ching, ching.
Yes. It's all I can
go.
pay attention to sometimes.
Should I click out of it and try to get back in?
You're back in on my screen.
Okay.
now.
You're back
Is there
now.
now?
Yeah. It's
What
just
the
it's been
crap?
happening all night.
It's what it did to me the last session, and nothing has in my setup has changed. Roll 20 just beats me. Okay, so
So what's
I
your
get
total
8.
hit points?
Hold on. So I add my con, so that's 9. So 46 plus 9.
55.
55.
We're like
Alright.
real close in hit points.
Yeah, that fighter's got to have some good hit points. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, true.
We need to beef up Nero.
Right?
It's fine. I'm hard to hit,
A little.
and people can't get attacks of opportunity against me as long as I attack them. So I can always scamper.
Hacha.
And you can theoretically catch a bullet.
All right.
Yes, I can't wait to try that so much.
Sorry, I'm just picturing Nero. Please shoot me.
Oh,
I'm just gonna
nice.
tell Minnow. I'm just gonna be like, shoot me right now.
Oh my goodness. Okay, my special ability is called I Got This. When you complete a long rest, you can choose a tool proficiency that you don't currently have and gain it. You lose this proficiency when you select a different proficiency with this ability. When you feel another party member has failed a skill check, you can make the same skill check with advantage, provided the check would not otherwise be made with disadvantage. I'll have to let the DM discern that for me, because otherwise I'm just going to roll on everything. If you get a lower result than they did, you have disadvantage on your next skill check because I pout. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier and regain all expended uses when you complete a long rest. I gain the ability to cast illusionary script without spending a spell slot, which is good because I'm a fighter and I don't have any. Intelligence is my spellcasting ability. I can cast illusory script using this feature once. You regain the ability to cast this spell using this feature when you complete a long rest. And that spell, basically, it looks like I get to disguise paper.
So yeah, basically you can write a message, and then to you and anyone you designate when you cast it, it looks normal. To anyone else, it looks like it's unknown or magical script, but it's obviously
kind of like
weird
Doctor
and unintelligible.
Who's magical book.
Or you can disguise it to look like a totally different text in a totally different hand. That's perfectly legible in a language you know.
Hence, pickles in my dream thinking I was
Like
messing with recipes. Fantastic. Okay.
Props to Galway. I know I wrote this in chat, but props to
Yes.
Galway for these amazing,
Yes.
very
Totally.
unique and well-crafted abilities that
Yeah.
I cannot wait to put to the test.
Yes.
Oh,
I had a
awesome.
lot of
So
fun putting these
exciting.
together. Like I said, I'd done them in Beyond the Doors before we started on the basis of character backgrounds, and it's a lot of fun to get to do them now with a bunch of sessions with people where I'm like, oh yeah, no, I can craft these to people's personalities. Arguably my favorite line in there was just the fact that I threw in the thing where Ketch gets disadvantage if he rolls lower because he's just pouting.
So good.
It's just like,
Yeah.
awesome.
All the time.
So yeah, you all wake up sort of out the door in the hallway. Weirdly, you can kind of see it looks like Dent is doing the same thing. Like, you're kind of used to you wake up, Dent just like, hey, starts moving. This one almost looks like the but yeah, you hear some sounds from the kitchen, or the area that Asana had indicated was the kitchen. And Elise, could you give me a quick D20 roll?
Yep. 18. Down
Nice.
by 1.
So yeah, what would you like to do?
I'm
Go
so
talk
hungry.
to Asana.
Minnow is hungry, not Elise.
Questions. We have questions. I want food and I have questions.
So as you walk in, you're going to see Asana on the table here is placing out sort of large bowls that you can see some steam rising from. And
Are these screens?
yes,
And are there any windows?
no. There's 6 bowls placed on that table, and she'll sort of gesture around it. She's like, please, there's some food for you, and feel free to sit wherever there is room. I don't normally have a great many people here at once. And she's actually going to kind of hop up on this counter and just sort of sit, swinging her feet. If you check out
Nero's
the
going to
bowls,
be right next to her.
the bowls appear to be large bowls of noodle soup, because this is cyberpunk, goddammit, so we need noodle soup.
Yes.
Some traditions will be obeyed. Minnow, you sort of turn on a chair that has some wheels, and you see just sort of massive glowing panels with images and information on them. You also see on the other... Please don't touch the monitors.
What?
You can see there's a sort of a similar panel over on this wall. And you can see that she's holding a small object that she's sort of like tapping the surface of as she's waiting for you all to get food. Did Ressa just like dash into the bathroom?
Yeah, she took a quick bath.
I did want to take an hour this morning to cast Find Familiar and get Finch back.
Sure, we can rule that you can... actually, we could rule that you were doing that kind of in the same stretch of imaginary time that occurred from the rest for other people attuning. Yeah,
perfect. And I would have grabbed a bowl of soup as I was like poking at the screen, curiously.
Right.
I grabbed a bowl of soup and then went and just continued to be next to Asana. Just like, morning.
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
Yeah, though still feel really tired.
I am sure you have many questions, and I completely understand. If you feel anything like I did when I first got here, I cannot imagine you are particularly energetic. If perhaps...
Were you alone?
Hmm?
Were you alone?
Yes.
Have you always been alone?
No.
Here?
There are others that I work with now.
Are they all from Moontree? Well, from our era of,
No. When I say that I came here alone, I mean that no others came through with me. Like, all of you came together. But for me, it was just me. There are others who have come through at the same time. I know 2 of them. But most of those that I work with are people from here.
What are the 2's names?
Perhaps we will speak of them in time.
Oh.
I wish to understand a little more what it is you wish to do here first. I hope you can
How
understand.
did you get here?
What we wish to do here. We don't want to be here.
And that is the answer that I expected.
We didn't come here on purpose.
Nor did I.
Okay, so wait, hold. Did you walk through? Like, what did we walk through, guys? Was it like a tunnel? It was a doorway?
We just went through a door.
It was
we
underground.
should have gone outside.
Well, we
How did
fought
you-
a big worm, and then the air began cracking around us, and then we left a cave, and then there
Here.
were big glass metal buildings everywhere.
What were you doing when the air began cracking?
Trying not to die?
Running from
the worm.
the fishy squid creature.
That's not technically what you were doing when the air began cracking.
I don't remember the air
Well,
cracking,
I had broken specifically. Okay, I'll do this in character. I basically tried to. I think I was breaking a spell or something. I was trying to recover. Did Dellen wake up? Is Dellen with us?
Oh, right. I forgot. I control him.
You fished Dellen. You saved Dellen.
I fished up Dellen, and in the process, when I yanked him back towards us, that's when the air started cracking.
He was moving backwards, like he was going backwards in time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Dylan's
was
gonna sort of-
walking, talking backwards. It was very weird.
I don't fully understand what happened, but it was unpleasant, and then suddenly I was, there. And you're gonna see Asana is like furiously tapping at the small sort of plate she's holding. She's like, interesting. So you have seen the creature, and you say, my father said it was the 3 days, and then it had been a couple of more, so not much time has passed. So what is happening in Tormentor Island and Moontree right now? Is it have the disappearances continued? Is Tormentor Island still, or is Moontree still isolated?
Yes, and yes.
Yes.
We
made
were
it
the
through
only,
Moontree.
yeah. Our ship was the only ship that had made it to Moontree, but we did make it. It was not without those creatures attempting to
We
sink
fought
our
a lot
ship,
of fish
though.
people on the way.
Yeah, a lot of people were either masquerading or had been converted into fish people that speak like a
So it is much as okay. Yes, you. I am sorry. There are many questions.
Did you walk under the lake? Are you one of the people that disappeared and walked into the lake?
Yes.
How did you breathe?
Getting there. Lots of questions. Perhaps some noodles. I went.
He's gonna have a noodle hanging
I
from
went
his mouth.
for a walk. I'd been working on a painting. I wanted to hear sailors singing. I wanted to see the birds coming in to rest for the night. I didn't go very far from my father's house, and there was something. I have thought about it for 3 some years, and I still don't know what it was. Maybe a sound? It drew me towards the waterline. And by the time I was getting there, I could see others walking alongside me, and all I could feel was excited. I was going to get to see something wonderful, be a part of something wonderful. And as I kept walking straight into the lake, I saw something, some kind of huge creature. I walked
Was it
into
a
its...
big white thing? Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it was dark. It was sort of like a massive fish of some kind. I walked into its mouth, and as did the
What?
others.
Like willingly?
Not just willingly, ecstatically.
Are you a fish person? Catch is gonna sniff.
I'm a lizard folk.
Did
Insight
anyone
check.
did anyone
Yes.
try to fish it up?
No, we were mostly walking in a daze towards it.
Well, that was your
with
first
a
problem.
10 on insight. Also you have disadvantage.
Oh,
Oh,
because
well, I'm sure that a natural one will be in my future. Let's try it. Because that was a 2 to get a 10. So
Oh, right. Jesus. No. Okay.
it would have been a
Oh.
22 if I had advantage, Galway. Just want to point that out. So
Well, any future insight checks you can make against her, we'll have advantage to cancel out the tiredness disadvantage because Minnow can't trust anyone pathologically. Yeah, the 10 with a 10. You're real fucking tired, and the noodles are real fucking tasty. And honestly, as much as it is in your nature to be suspicious of anything and everything, you're like, I should think noodles.
and now I'm suspicious of the noodles. Even I can't stop
Right.
eating them. I'm just like, what if they're poisonous?
But also so warm and delicious.
So I'm going to say to her, I know our questioning might seem strange, but we watched fish people turn into apparently beloved people on the island and then back into fish people. So there is precedent for them taking over bodies and people not knowing.
No, I will tell you how I know I am a lizard folk and not one of them. I think it took us to Moontree Isle. Based on how long it was, every second that passed, I got happier. I was anticipating being with something, part of something. We were walked through the caves. I was so excited. It was like the first time I realized that I could show the beauty of a creature in a drawing. It was that kind of excitement. Then the thing emerged from the water. That is, I believe, the one you were referring to fleeing. Tail, tentacles, horrifying, orbs floating above it. There was a woman, a halfling, wearing priest's robes. She, one by one, she examined us. And as I stood there, they screamed when she was examining them. And I was so confused. They were so close to our goal, to the only goal. And then, when it was my turn, when she began to check, whatever it was made me giddy. Was gone. I was alone with monsters and people helping monsters. I pleaded with them to let us go, to let everyone go. I begged them to think about the lives they were taking, the futures that they were stealing. The woman, the halfling, she praised me for my bravery and said that I would make a wonderful agent to send to Tormund Isle. But the creature seemed like it was arguing with itself. I could not hear it say anything, but it would almost turn from side to side. And then one of the orbs glowed, and everyone and everything was frozen. I heard a voice in my head telling me to run, and I did. I ran as fast as I could, slipping, collapsing. I ran, and I felt the air on my face. And I thought, oh, thank the gods, I'm free. And then I saw fear. I ran. Luckily, Drakon was less well prepared then. They've had time to make preparations, and they have not wasted them. I found people willing to help me try to find a way back home, to help try to protect anyone else that might come through.
Much like you did for us, were you able to find the source of the voice in your head?
I do not know what the source was. It was not the priest. I do not think it was the creature. I do not know if it was a god or someone else watching over, but part of me felt like it was one of the orbs. They seemed to glow back and forth, and I do not know if they were part of the creature or something else, but they glowed as the creature looked like it was arguing.
This is probably my memory failing. Did we see orbs down
Yes.
there? Okay. That was my memory. Okay.
There were three orbs sort of hovering over the creature like a crown.
Okay.
This might be a check, Galway, but when the aboleth spoke to me, was one of the orbs glowing particularly brighter than the others?
When there was the voice speaking in your head that was discussing like the future, etc. It was was discussing hating Dellen.
Yes.
I believe it was the green orb was glowing.
Okay. Do you remember the color of the orb that froze everything and that might have been talking to you?
I think it was blue. It was the one in the middle was glowing.
Interesting.
For you, I've forgotten the order that I put the colors in, but it was the one on the left was the one that was glowing for you from the aboleth perspective.
Okay. When the aboleth spoke to me, it was not a kind voice, and it wanted to put an end to one of our party members, and that one was green. You said it was arguing with itself. I wonder if the orbs are different beings entirely, or if it's all part of one thing.
Do not know. Howdy.
Asana, in terms of, and I gesture at the screens and all the foreign technology and absolute craziness that is this setting. Is this when and where are we? Like, what is this?
Is this all magic?
It is a good question. It is magic and technology. It is the crafts of machines taken to levels essentially unimaginable to us, but fused with magic. It is magic that powers it, magic that enables much of it. I do not know. It has seemed to me that many of you have some skill with the arts of mana. Have you perceived a difference when you cast a spell here?
Yes, it's like it's so
Magic.
easy.
It flows very easily. It's stronger.
Yes, that is. They say that it is due to the trees. Not just standard trees, the big glowing one. Well, it and the other 5.
I've also noticed, I don't know if this is perhaps too a side effect of where we are, but I don't need to sleep, but I felt extraordinarily exhausted as well.
I think that is the process of having been moved from wherever you were to wherever this is. It sounds to me that you come very much from where I did. And as for where this is, I believe that it is the same place, but a very great distance in the future.
Did
Do
you
you
say
know
there
what
were
year it
5
is?
trees?
5 more.
There
So
are
6
6.
total?
Oh.
She's going to stop and go, here, allow me to. This world, its inhabitants refer to it as Tierra. The year here, by their reckoning, is AB 2312. After the blossoming of the trees. This is the event that they measure from, just as we measure from the cataclysm. When I spoke to people here, they had no knowledge of a cataclysm. The blossoming of the trees changed parts of the world, reshaped it, and released this magic. But they do not know the reference. I do not know how far distant we are from our home.
But at least over 2,000 years.
Presumably, yes. There are similarities and differences to our world. There. At home, we were in Amechia. Forian was just next door. There's Greenwoods. There were these countries, these nations. Here, corpse ruled. I was surprised.
corpse like dead bodies?
Ah, no.
Drakon Corp.
But what's a corp?
Yes. Imagine if a guild got powerful enough to run the equivalent of a country.
That sounds like something a responsible government would shut down.
Yes,
So they're Republicans.
but we're here.
So, Asana, I don't mean to sidetrack us, but it has occurred to me that there might be cause for hope for us to return.
Okay.
Far early in our journey to head to Tormenryle, even before Tormenryle, we all ran into an old church, and this church was impacted by time somehow. It was cycling through, I would assume, periods of the hundreds of years. And it was cycling. It would go back to a point. I'm kind of wishing we had maybe stayed there longer and figured out what was going on there, but maybe we would never have found out. But it stands to reason that if that same process that was impacting the time of that church is perhaps impacting all of Moontree Isle at large, maybe there is a way for us to get back.
There are ways for you to get back, but I can say with certainty that it is not affecting all of Moontree Isle, or there would be more people here. Only a handful have come through. Of those,
The ones that you saw that were being inspected, what happened to them? Did they get turned and sent back, or?
Yes.
They became fish people?
As she inspected them, when she seemed to sort them in some way. Some she reserved for later, the ones that she thought were more valuable, and I felt such joy for them at that time that it sickens me now. Others who she deemed inferior, she turned into some sort of twisted fish abominations.
So, had we ever had any tales of people returning that had been missing? Because I know that some of the fish people lived among the people of Moontree Isle and nobody knew that they were fish people. But there were no stories about people who had left and then come back, right?
There was no one who had left and had come back, but there were references to Salate had been wounded and then had sort of been gone for a little bit, but I think most people had assumed she had just gone to her house and then had come back. Most people didn't.
Nobody from Tormenryle.
Nobody from Tormenryle. No one has come back from Torment. The disappearances in Tormenryle had all appeared to just be straight up disappearances.
Huh.
Asana, I do want to find out more about these corpse things.
Yeah,
but
what's
also,
a corpse?
You said that there are ways that but not you. You made it sound like not you.
No. It is. It could also work. It could also work for me. The point that your armored friend, who I'm suspecting is not actually an armored friend, but perhaps a friend who is armor, given the whole "I'm not sleeping, don't need a pillow" thing.
I'm just really vigilant.
Okay. That will help you survive here.
With my -1 perception.
What he has said may be true, but I rather think that to do that would require luck, chance, being in the right place at exactly the right time. You asked what these were. She's sort of going to gesture at the glowing panels and like the one that she's holding. She goes, I said that this is craft and technology taken to levels that are unimaginable to us, then fused with magic that is all around us in a way that it never has been in my life. There are ways through that to send us all back. The reason that it has not been an option is it would take a number of people, considerable skill, and a connection to the past in order to go back. I was not enough. I can explain, and if you are interested, I can take you to someone who can explain better than I can. But that is my hope. That is my hope for myself and for you. I will say now, that way would incur considerable risk. I do not yet know how it would be possible. I would need to speak to others that I work with. You would need to speak to others that I work with, but it would mean crossing the corpse in a very big way.
You
But if-
managed. I'll just real quick point. Asana, you've managed to apparently go unnoticed, or you've managed to lay low for 3 whole years. What can we do to replicate that? Because I feel like I, for better or
Now?
worse, stick out like a sore thumb here.
That will be some of perhaps what we take care of today if you are feeling up to it. I figured that you might want questions answered first, given everything else.
Shopping episode?
Oh my goodness. Shopping montage.
Shopping
Do you
montage.
have ways for us to use the? I saw people waving their hand, and I tried, and
That will be a step that we need to take today.
Did you know that we were here?
She's going to sort of you may have noticed was raining when you arrived.
Yeah.
It is always raining by the tree. Not directly by it, but in the area of it. It is always raining. But in the last several years, there have been moments where all at once the rain ceases. And it is sunny and clear or cloudy or anything other than rainy. And I have since discovered that every time this has occurred, people have seen things or heard things, strange things that they could not explain, buildings that should not be there, an absence of buildings that should be there. And it was in exactly these conditions that I appeared, and the others that I know who came from the past.
Do these strange
And-
things always occur in the same place?
No, they are scattered. They are various places, and not 15 minutes before I found you, it had stopped raining. The people that I worked with have had some success isolating some of the differences between new arrivals and these kinds of discrepancies and the world around them, so I had a sense of where to look. To be fair, the Drakon Guard sending out an all-points bulletin to converge on the Underroad station helped. At that point, I mostly just followed them and hoped you weren't dead yet. Or captured. More captured.
what is Drakon, and why did they attack us?
I mentioned that corps have all the power, these businesses. There are 8 pillars here, too. But again, they are not nations. They are not Forian and Amechia. One of them you have already run across, Drakon Corp. All of the sort of remaining governments of the world, the Union of Governments, they are another. Sylvan Dynamics, Saren Flight Systems, Mirror Mage Design, Foro Solutions. These are the other corporate entities. The Church of Bin and Astra Corp. Newer player. These are the 8 pillars of Tira.
Quick over the table question is calling, like, when we've heard of the 8 pillars and things like this in the past, have we heard them in connection to countries or
Yes.
to okay.
The 8 pillars are the major nations. Tethfarel, Famechia, Forian, etc.
Got it. Also over the table, can you send us a list of those corps instead
Absolutely.
of
Are all of these corpses, are they all hostile like Drakon?
They are all supremely self-interested. Drakon have made most of their money through being military purveyors. When the incidents started some 6 years ago here, of sunlight and etc., time, they had the idea to begin developing. Perhaps they'd already had the idea to begin developing this technology, and they posited that they could solve it. They wanted to send themselves back. What we've discovered is that while manipulation of time is possible, to do so on a long reach takes a lot of energy and preferably a connection to that time. That is why they hunt you. The people that I work with would want to send us back. Drakon wants to send their security forces back. They want to change the past so that they will always have had control, and they will use you or anyone else they catch as the fuel to make that possible.
But if they change the past so they always have control, then they'd never have sent somebody back to change the past so that they would always have control. So
They're
then
a
they never.
military-industrial complex. They don't really think about paradoxes.
I don't. Okay, so you're talking
It's not
about
how time works.
if we're the anchor to the past, can we both be the anchor to the past for casting this spell or whatever it is and be returned to the past, or do we need an anchor that isn't us if we're going to teleport ourselves back, transport ourselves back?
Ideally, whatever anchor you used would be something from your time with lots of mana. This would then serve as the medium. It's just that most of the time when people have come through, they've been like me, 1 or 2 people, scared, confused. The only mana they possessed was them. So
We have a lot.
So, like, what if we have a ring that has a curse on it that collects cats?
that feels like it's not hypothetical.
Or hypothetical, Asana. Play this.
I mean,
If we would that be enough mana to do what you're talking about?
Unlikely. It would need to be something with a much higher concentration. But
what if we had a sword that could make people scared of it and then teleport you to gank them?
Again, I really feel like these are not hypotheticals. They seem oddly specific.
Also,
I mean, that's what we,
Minnow, we know that sword is corrupted by the blight, and so we might get sent back much further than originally intended.
Yes, but is the blight even a thing here?
That's a good question. Is the blight even a thing here?
They didn't know about the cataclysm.
The people here describe there are some areas where the mana is very weak, where the technology behaves oddly. This, I believe, is related to what we know as blight. I have never been to see it. It is not on this island. She goes, it would perhaps be easier if and she's gonna sort of tap the pad, and the screen on the wall over here will display.
I scream.
Yeah. Gasp.
Catch just immediately takes another bite of noodles.
Nice. Nice.
So they all
This
have their own territory?
yes.
And they all have there's so many trees now.
Yes, there are 6 trees. They all blossomed simultaneously, according to the stories. They all grew. This map roughly shows the areas that they take as their primary control. It should be understood that this is not like the borders of countries as we knew them. Even if Forian and Amekia were very friendly and you could freely come and go, on one side of the line it was Amekia, on one side it was Forian. This is more influence, if that makes sense. For example, where we are is within the holdings of Drakon Corp and the influence of it, but there are offices of all of the major corps here.
What about this United Union of Governments business? Is that one of the...
It is one of the pillars, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It is
Sorry.
just they hold very little territory. They are honestly not particularly influential. In this map, some of the areas that you see marked with the corpse are technically land belonging to the Union of Governments, but no one there would be stupid enough to mistake the Union of Governments as the person in control.
And it doesn't have anything to do with governments. It's just called Union of Governments, but it's that's just...
It is. It was the remnants of the governments. You commented that no responsible government would allow. They tried to stop it, but they were far too weak by the time that they did.
Right. So basically, this is like the UN got bought out by Google, and now Google's territory is, the Union of Governments.
This is more like, honestly, the UN tried to sanction Google, and then Google said, no, down, sit, stay.
Sounds about right.
And then the Union of Governments functionally ended up with, like, Scandinavia.
Some of the happiest places on Earth, I don't know, apparently.
Which of these pillars is the oldest?
The pillars, the Union of Governments are based on governments that have existed for millennia. Of these, though, I would say that Sylvan Dynamics is probably the oldest. They have existed in the south for a very long time. Foro Solutions is one of the newest. AstraCorp is a newcomer in terms of outright controlling their territory, though they are an older corporation. They were previously not considered one of the pillars. They had partnerships with a number of others and then rose to prominence and sort of stopped being one of these subsidiary or allied corporations and were their own thing.
So are they older than the Sylvan?
No. Sylvan, I would say, is probably one of the oldest along with the Union of Governments.
What?
So how do I get my hands on somebody, a part of them? I have some questions. Do you have like a empty room with a chair?
I cannot recommend abducting and torturing a member of a corp.
I did not. Those are your words, not mine. I said I had questions.
I cannot imagine any member of a corp voluntarily coming with you to a room with a chair to answer your questions.
Oh, no. I didn't say it would be voluntary. But
Okay,
I
so
never
we're
said
back
the
to
word
the
torture.
abducting part.
I'm totally cool with abducting, but torture is your word?
Anyone else think Asana's starting to sound strangely like Galway?
I'm still. So if we find what we need, if we find enough mana to teleport us back to our own time, does it matter that we're crossing the corpse because we're gone?
Oh, it will not matter as long as you're successful. If you're unsuccessful,
They're hunting us either way, yeah.
yes. Right now, they're hunting you with orders to capture and not horrifically maim. They will
Not
probably
horrifically.
kill you to turn you into fuel, yes, but again, capture, not horrifically maim. And then revive you and horrifically maim you all over again.
So we don't have to be alive to be fuel?
I think we die when we're
In the
used as
process
fuel.
becoming
It's
fuel.
that one, yes, that one.
Okay, so how
So
do I get
captured-
my hands on one of those guys?
One of which ones? The ones
You're-
who want to capture us or
Yes.
maim us?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I have questions for the old people, but I have serious, thought-provoking points. And I'm going to touch my short swords for the others.
Okay.
So here's a question I think might be a little more easily answered. The tree, what is it? Why did they bloom? Do we know what? Why is it so big? That seems impossibly large.
I do not know. The stories around the blossoming of the trees here are as vague as our stories of the cataclysm. It is a distantly remembered event. It is said that the world before it was nearly devoid of magic. It was a struggle to produce even the most basic of spells, that technology had developed isolated from magic. They were not yet fused. Magic was too weak, and that with the blossoming of the trees came the ability to fuse these two things together. I'm also just going to ping for the sake of people who are watching. There's a tree here, which is basically where everybody is. There's a tree here. A tree over here. Tree down here, which is the one that is very unfortunate with red on a green background for me. Yep, I totally see that real well. And then here. And then here.
And do you think that the island that we're on is the original Moontree Island, from where we came from?
I believe so. She's gonna tap a couple of buttons. This is where we are. The structure of the island is different, but still similar. The descriptions of it, the lakes, everything is close enough as me to suggest that we are in the same place, just different with time and growth.
Can you show us on this map where the tree is in relationship to us? Just like ping.
The tree is here in District 1. Currently, we are in District 6. You
And
landed
Moontree-
in District 4.
Do we know if the tree does anything, or is it just there looking really pretty?
It is a powerful source of mana. releases mana into the entire area. It is the six trees are responsible for this world's magic.
Where is Moontree Rock located? Like, where would it be on this island?
Just gonna sort of. It is difficult to tell because exact locations have shifted, but
Right.
from everything that I can tell, Moontree Rock is the tree.
That's where I was going with that.
Because it's northeast, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Church of Bin is related to your church?
There
It's
do
just
seem to be
missing
some
some
similarities
letters.
between Bion and those tenants in the Church of Bin. Yes, I would believe that.
Maybe you need to ask Ben some questions, Ressa. Maybe Bion's not around here and it's Ben that's going to answer.
Oof, that's a
That
hard one
island
to.
called Angel.
Angel Island is one of the only unaffiliated landmasses left. It swears no allegiance to any of the corps, nor to the Union of Governments.
How did they manage to
nice.
Yeah, how did they manage?
stay out of everything?
No one is exactly sure of that. There are rumors or stories that here in Tira they talk about a group of beings, creatures, people. It is hard to tell. That are truly beloved by the mana. They're the multi-mana. They themselves are sources of mana. It is said that they are near immortal, if not immortal, that they possess strange magical powers, and some people say that they are the ones who have kept Angel Island free from the influences of the court.
How do we meet them?
I don't even know if they really exist.
Well, maybe
You also
we could.
are a very social person. You want to meet lots of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I have questions.
Maybe we can start by meeting the people that you want to introduce us to, that maybe know some things and can help us. And we
Also,
can
thank
help
you
them.
for being so forthcoming.
Very.
I have no reason to hide anything from you.
Well, just
Insight.
backtrack just a bit. When you I forget which one of my friends here asked you about the other two that had come from our time, you said we'd get to that later. Is later now? Now is later? I mean, time is apparently relative, completely. So later is now for me. Who are these other people who came through? Were they brothers?
Just gonna sort of lean back when you say that. Yes, they were.
Brother. Were is like past tense.
Oh, well, they are?
Okay. We're getting somewhere, possibly. And what are they doing?
They also work with the same group that I work with. I do not know the particulars of their current activities.
Galway.
Yes.
Would any of us, I mean, definitely Dylan would have known if Moontree Isle was called Moontree Isle because there was a tree on said isle of particular note. Is that the case? Could this tree have been around in our time, hence namesake of the isle?
Dellen reacted to that tree the way basically everybody else did. You do know that the forest nearby is the Moonwatcher Forest. The lake is like Moonwatcher Lake. That's sort of where you all had always sorted that in. It's possible, but it certainly doesn't seem like there was a like 50-story tall glowing tree. You know, seems like that would have been mentioned somewhere. Tourist brochure.
Nero is gonna look at Asana and ask, you mentioned you might have questions for us. Do you have questions for us right now?
Honestly, you answered most of my questions when you were from as close a time that I had disappeared as you are. I operated under the assumption that you were from multiple years in the future. I was going to ask you where you were from, if my father was still alive by any chance, if the entire area around Tormenryle had been subsumed under the rule of some creepy fish creature. You know, seems like 3 years could have been pretty bad with where the rate that thing was going. So if you are from several days after me and the situation seems much the same and my family is still alive, then I think that covered most of the things I was going to ask about, honestly. You saw the creature. You saw the effects of time magic. Well, when it goes wrong.
Is it always things from the past coming to now, or has there ever been an instance of something from the future coming to now?
No, it always appears like it is coming from the point in time where we are from. There may be some variances, but this, I think, is the key. This is the important part. Where we are from is the source of this.
There been any intel of this happening on any of the other land masses by the trees?
I have not
Or is
heard
this
any, but
just here?
it seems like it is just here. She's going to sort of pause and think for a second. If you are free to ask me more questions, but perhaps we could deal with some of the questions, such as your armor friend there being able to blend in more, and all of you being able to blend in more, and the question about the touchpads and sense scans and all of that. Perhaps we could address some of these things, have a small field trip, get you to
I would like that.
see the island a bit more. I can explain some of the districts to you as we travel.
Yeah,
Get
let's
some
do it.
intel.
Can Mr. Jimbles come, or?
Who is Mr. Jimbles?
Oh, we met a Tressum.
Oh, there.
He was very helpful while we waited for you, and he said I could call him Mr. Jimbles.
That is, technically speaking, where we met would be a decent district to get you some clothes that are not, from where we're from. So he's still there. You could see him.
What is the currency? How are we going to acquire clothes?
That will be the first thing we take care
Robin Banks.
of.
I pull out the gun and I still.
Do you pull out the gun?
Yeah. And when I do, I'm like, can you teach me how to use this?
Don't point that
Where
thing
did
at
you
me.
get that?
I put the gun away.
Where did you get that?
I stole it,
Give it to me.
but I want it. It's mine.
Did you take it from a Drakon?
Yes.
They can track them.
Oh, fuck. I hand it over.
You're going to see her disengage several pieces on the handle and pull
Way
out
to
a
go,
small
Minnow.
chip and smash it. Like, hand you that, and then is like frantically scrolling. She's like, I think we are safe. My screens appear to have held.
Sorry.
I can teach you how to use that, and in fact will teach you how to use those, because if we are going to get home, all of us, and stop Drakon from enslaving our home, everyone here will need to know how to use one of those.
I don't really want to.
Know how well. I'm gonna hold up my little paws. My paws. I could do that.
She's going to smile. Oh, don't worry. There's solutions for everything.
What about
Cool.
solutions for not wanting to? I prefer to be personal when I'm fighting. It makes it feel more connected and less horrible.
She's gonna back away as you kind of sound like you're doing like the Joker's monologue about why he uses a knife. And she's just like, okay, the nice quiet one's a sociopath.
No! Behind Mira's back, I'm like, do not trust this fool.
She's like, I am sure we can find you arms and armaments here that will suit
Just
your particular
natural.
requirements.
Way. In nature, when animals fight, they are close.
Sure, we can.
I straight up thought you went shh.
Sure, we can work on that. We can look for something. Let's go ahead and take our break. If this seems like a good time to do so. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We will be back in probably about 12 minutes. We'll try to aim for like 9:20 being back on. And then you all are going to solve the fucking problem of how do you buy shit when you're carrying around just gold. And this clearly is not a gold-based economy. Awesome. We will be back in just a little bit. Bye. Hello, everybody. We are back. Hopefully. OBS willing. Switching over here. Yes, I see us. Cool. Oh my god. Oh wow, yeah, that's just all caps yelling at. Yep, okay, yep. Well, I sent Lena the tree map. It's fine. We're good. We're all good.
Okay.
So in the first half, the group had some, we'll call them dreams. Why not? The episode title suggests that they should be called dreams. It's dreams and discussions. And then we had a whole hell of a lot of discussion that caught the Marauders up on this world of Tira. And some of the things that are going on. We also had some good commentary about how governments shouldn't allow corps to take things over. Looking at you, rest of the fucking world. Fine. Didn't go great in tier. Let me put it that way. But yeah, we learned some things. We learned that the most valuable things were the friends we made. I think I just called friends things. It's fine. It's fine. We're moving along. So
Thanks.
if you certainly have any other questions, if you have any other things, we can role play out sort of continuing lore. Oh, and the last thing was Minnow pulled out a gun,
Yes.
causing Asana to panic, not at all for the reason of, oh god, there's a gun, but rather, oh god, there's a Drakon Corp gun, and smashed what appeared to be some kind of like tracer chip from it, and then has handed the gun back to Minnow. Yeah, so with that, if you all want, she will suggest that you can take care of some of the answers to these other questions that you've had about, like, blending in, you know, having some stuff around this, and I think it was Dent's question of, how do we pay for that? I can't remember if it was Dent or Nero. But yeah, so she'll sort of say like, well, since the defense is held, I do not believe they would be looking at this area in particular. If you all wish, I know that, how are you all feeling? I know you were very exhausted, or I suspect you were. Do you feel up to traveling? Hopefully there should not be any combat involved.
I think that the question how we're feeling is just a little too complicated for what you're.
Physically
Yep.
still a little tired, but
A little
able to
tired.
go and do.
Excited about these noodles though. These were good.
The noodles
Dylan,
were
how
good.
are you feeling?
Well, it's very
He sounds like he's on the verge of a panic attack.
it's very exciting to be in a world that has so much magic, and the things that they're doing with, like, where Minnow was like slapping the screen, sort of trying to get it to do nothing. He's like hesitantly hovering his finger towards it, like, this type of stuff is all very interesting, and once I think everything in my head stops screaming, I'll be very interested to investigate it further. Right now, just kind of trying to process generally.
Did you have a strange dream last night and wake up with strange powers?
By most people's standards, I usually have strange powers.
So, wait a minute. Did you have a strange dream last night?
I had a strange dream, but I don't think I got any strange powers. Oh. Oh.
It was an offhand joke. I'm sorry.
No, but actually, like, wait, we should compare notes on our dreams, right? Like, that's, yeah, so we can do this as we walk. Are we walking, driving? What are we doing?
So basically, she would ask if you're ready to go. She will go and sort of grab out of this storage area several of the sort of cloaks that you'd seen. That like your cloaks were kind of close to them, but they weren't exactly them. And she's gonna hand those actually out to you. They don't all fit perfectly. She's like, for now, you can just put these over your clothes. It should help you to not stand out as much. They're like, can't really help you yet, but we'll work on that. Pointing at Dent. She's like, wait, actually. And she goes through. She's like, actually, for now, maybe just here. And it gives you just a sort of massively oversized cloak. Just try to keep as much of yourself covered by that as you can.
Could we say that over my long rest, I went into stealth mode, which is much less clunky,
Sure.
more of a slimmer build than my current Hulk form?
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Cool. I will update my character sheet.
And yeah, if you all are good to walk, you can sort of be walking and talking. She's going to say, like, so, I remember, because I have 2 different screens of Roll20, and it makes it very confusing. It's like, we are here, in District 6. I think that the first place that it makes sense to take you is, just in the same neighborhood. It won't be a very long ride, but we should we will take the car. That is all the same. And she'll sort of start moving there. And yeah, you all can sort of role play, and I'll tell you when you arrive. Why is everyone? No, multiple people are muted. Sorry. For a second, I thought everyone was muted, and I was like, what's happening?
We're just playing a prank on Galway.
Yes.
I did an accidental roll.
I'm looking up Warforged stuff, so don't mind me.
Yeah, I think that just Minna would want to have us compare notes on our dreams, which we don't necessarily have to go into the details of everyone repeating them, but like, unless we want to, I don't know. But like, it would be interesting, I think, to kind of compare what we thought was most interesting.
I mean, to me, it seems like they're not. Well, it felt like a dream, but it also felt real. And comparing all of these, it almost seems as though we've had glimpses into what could be.
Yeah, and from what you said, like, you know, in my dream, I specifically thought about Ressa, you being in your forge, and I thought about Nero coming back to Moontree with information or with something to give us, and that sounds like, you know, in your dream you were in your forge, and in Nero, your dream, you were on your way back to Moontree, or sorry, to Amberheart, to give us something, right? Like,
Well,
at
I
least,
was waiting in the forest and had received something. Yeah.
and then I think at the very end it was like you were
Oh, and then
about
I
to,
got up. Yeah.
yeah, like head into Amberheart.
I wonder if what's going on is related to why the stone was taken from my home. Because it seemed to be that was the information I was seeking.
If the stone became the tree, what if?
Wow. Rachel straight up did not like connect stone and stone at all. And you just said that. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
hey, my
but
thing was a stone too.
It doesn't make
Wow.
sense, because if this is the future, though, right, then the rock or the stone that you're talking about couldn't have grown into Moontree rock, most likely. Or maybe, unless, like, you know, your little dream was, you know, thinking about this rock. Like that. I'm sorry. Have we learned about a rock from your forest before? Is that something we've?
I don't think, because did I know about it before I talked to the pygmy?
Nero learned about the rock from the veggie pygmies, because that was where the salt demons came from.
Because yeah, I didn't know about it before, so I don't think that in that time we walked and I talked to grass and we fought and then came here. Like,
yeah, you've literally not been sort of off screen except for your being asleep since Salate's house. Like, there has been no even, like, minor sort of time skip, really, because you filled the short rest that you had at Lachlan's with doing stuff.
So we assume that you would tell us about it now. The stone.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't necessarily. Well, I would say, yeah, I guess I wouldn't make any kind of connections about things. I would just share that I was in the forest and I was trying to find out more information about this stone that had been stolen from it as a part of it.
Dellen, how long was Moontree Rock on Moontree Isle? As long as you can remember?
As long
or
as I
was
can remember. Records that those in Deephold had always said it was just sort of there.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of salt demons, Dellen?
There are, I believe, a particular kind of infernal called a salt devil.
Oh, I could have just misremembered. Do you know why they would want rocks?
If it is truly a powerful creature of the infernal plane, I can't imagine that anything they want is going to go great for any of us, but no. Any particular rock?
Do I know like the name of the rock?
No. The veggie pygmies just knew it as the rock that was in the forest that they guarded.
It was a rock in my home forest before it burned down that the veggie pygmies helped to guard. Apparently, the forest was burned down by a salt demon or devil, and the rock was stolen.
I do not know. They are powerful creatures and powerfully destructive. I have been fortunate enough never to have needed to encounter one.
All right.
Can I get the locket out? I don't think I've showed the locket to Dellen. Dellen's been around, right?
Dellen was around for you being very upset about the locket being gone, then the locket being back, and
Yep. And probably asked about the runes and stuff on the. Okay. I'm going to look over the locket again, and this time look for any clues that the locket is not the same locket that was stolen from my house, but a replica of some kind.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
At disadvantage.
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and say you spent a lot of time looking at the locket generally, so it would have been at advantage, so take it to normal. 23?
23?
You look it over. You see the things that Ressa pointed out to you, the rune that was there. You've looked at this so many times. You've tried to figure out if it's magical so many times. You've tried to figure out if there's somehow a hidden compartment in this small thing. Like, you know, you've sort of looked this backwards and forwards, magical and mundane. It is only thing about it that you had not noticed before, and in your mind you're still not sure whether it was you missed it before or it was added since you had it, is that rune that you can now see. But that's it. Everything else, like the weight of it in your hand, all of this, if it is a replica, it is perfect. This isn't just like they're the same design of locket. They would have to basically physically be the same locket down to the finest levels. So you're not sure if it is that you, and so like I said, the main thing that still is left in your mind, you don't know if you never noticed the rune or if the rune got added.
Okay.
I feel like if things, while you're kind of doing that and looking, I would just, are we walking we're walking?
You're in the car at this point.
We're in a car. I'm assuming I'm, of course, sitting next to Minnow. And so I would just kind of lean down, or I don't actually know. For some reason, I always picture you as extremely short. I don't actually know how tall you
Because
are.
Elise is short. Minnow is 5'9". She's kind of average
I
tall.
always picture you as like a fucking halfling, no matter what. Sorry.
Just
Human
perma-pippa.
rogue.
It's
not
a good thing we
Human
always
rogue.
preface it with human rogue.
Yeah.
I think I pay such close attention to things.
No, 5'9". So I don't know how tall Nero is. You probably still have to lean down because fearbolgs are tall.
Because I'm
But-
a biggin.
Biggin.
I even put in how tall I was. Probably not. That doesn't sound like something I would actually write down.
Just like trying to imagine being 5'9". It's like my
Me
mind's
too. That
blown.
sounds short.
Mm.
Ew.
That sounds like me.
It sounds like real short people. I don't know.
Yeah.
5'2" is glorious.
Yeah, I have to literally. I yell like tall friend when I'm in the kitchen and I need someone. I just yell like tall friend. See, like
By
who
someone you
answers.
mean Nicole, right? Because I
Well,
wouldn't.
Nicole is 6 feet tall, yes,
Right.
but Mark is also taller than me. So whichever one answers is
Oh, I
good.
guess I've never thought about Mark as tall. Anyway, I don't mean that it's like
Lisa's
me.
gonna
It's
shake
just
a
like
bitch.
Nobody ever predicts that I'm short until for when I'm until they meet me in person. They're always like, "You always seem like you would be taller," and I'm like, "It's my forced personality."
So I would a little bit lean down to talk to Minnow and just ask, how are you doing? I know already it's been difficult being far from your partner, and now you're far from them for
Yeah,
over
I mean, they're
possibly
dead
2,000
by like
years?
2,000 years in this timeline, and so is my sister. And so that's just something that's been on my mind. Thank you for asking. I think the only reason I slept last night is because we were, squished through proverbial strainer to get us. Metaphors are rough right now because I feel like shit.
Disadvantage on metaphors.
Disadvantage on metaphors. I also I can't think about it very much right now. I think that's where I'm at. I think that if I think about it, I might. Asana has been here for 3 years.
Well, if you think about it, once we go back to our time, we'll also then be dead by the time this time comes around, too.
Yes, that is true. I just, everybody has been talking about once we go back to our time, and I can't stop hearing a little asterisk with a footnote that says if we make it back to our time every time that gets said, because why should we be able to do it when it's been 3 years and whoever it is that Asana's working with has been gathering people and trying to do this for longer than the 6 years.
Don't
Because we're
fail.
the Marauders.
If anyone was
To
gonna
be
do
fair,
it,
I
would
am
be.
having a private conversation.
Oh.
I mean, we're also in a car. I don't think that we can
I've
have
been
this
trying to,
conversation
like-
very
You're
privately.
basically in the
know, but,
airport
like,
shuttle, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for other people to have conversations and like have a whispered private
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
But if you guys were listening in, that's also your choice and fine. Minnow, I know that it is your job to keep us realistic and think about the actuality of what can happen. But I think it's also my job to try and keep us positive and think about the good that can happen. And I know that there is a possible if, but I choose to believe in the definite when.
I just, can you even imagine being like my sister and like one day, I'm like, bye, going on a job, see you in a week. And then like then she never sees me again.
But here's my counter to that is I hear what you are saying, but when we go back, we will go back not far from our time that we left, as it seems time passes differently here. So, to your sister, it's most likely that you weren't even gone that long.
You could be right, and I just think that we've been thinking about this wrong because time doesn't a day back in our timeline doesn't mean a year here. It means that whatever spell or whatever is sending us people to the future from under Moontree Rock, that it's connecting us at different points in this. This is the same world and the same time. So who's to say that when we go back, it's even less precise, Like, what if it was aiming for sending us all here on the same day and it's sending us all here within 6 years of each other or 10 years of each other and we're only in year 6, and we go back and it's 20 years in the future, or it's 15 years in the past, and I'm 40 and my spouse is not even born. What if that happens? Like, that could happen too. And I just, this is why I said I can't think about it, because when I think about it, there's so much that we don't
Well,
I feel
have
like
any control over.
I feel
or
like
no.
Minnow's voice kind of spiked a little into like, I can't think about it. But from the front, you're going to hear Asana. I recommend lots of humming and not thinking about things too much
Asana,
on day
how about
2.
alcohol? Could you
I'm
provide
driving.
Cat,
Okay,
Cat's
but
just gonna.
what
Cat's just
about
curious? Because I'm a cat.
What?
what
Well,
about if I think about it for you?
Oh my god.
You
Yeah.
cannot think about it, and I'll think about it.
Okay.
And then catch. Sorry.
That's Catch. I just want to look over at Ressa and Den and be like, do we exist? Y'all ever notice that Nero is always having these little hush hush private conversations with Minnow, and we like we don't matter?
I don't
I kind of
think.
sometimes feel like that poor Minnow puts up with a lot.
To be fair, Minnow's the only person who ever reaches out to Nero. So Nero just assumes that Minnow's the only person that actually cares.
I would argue Dent has
Yeah,
reached
and
out.
I mean, Nero had like their time together. I mean,
No, I'm not saying he doesn't think that they care in that sense. I think that, and this isn't Rachel, this is Nero. I think that he views Minnow as some kind of moral compass, and like
I liked
I know.
watching Rachel or Elise and I's face go.
Yeah,
"Ooh."
I'm
The
not
broken
saying it's
kind.
a good
Gun?
choice.
Yeah.
I'm saying that Nero like sees Minnow and in interactions with her has been like sees her as this kind of like guide and thing, and then like also I don't know, just has a different kind of connection.
No, and it makes total sense, and I understand your read of that in the character actions I've seen. I just like the fact my moral compass has brunch conversation, whips out a stolen handgun.
Can we, with my passive perception of 18, did I hear Ketch say this as our conversation was winding
Yes.
down? Just curious. Can I just like pull out a copper piece and like ping it off of Ketch's like ear or something? Like just tink.
I legitimately just think that like Nero sees Minnow as a good moral compass.
Yeah.
Rachel knows that Minnow is not the like realistic, let's keep us on the right path, whatever kind of like. Rachel knows that, but Nero is very much like I don't know, appreciative of Minnow and the So
the car around probably this time is going to sort of turn and idle into sort of one of these spots where it's off the side of sort of a main road, and you can see there's other vehicles parked. And Asana's gonna sort of stop and turn back to you, and like I said, sort of think about this like a van. It's sort of the rough equivalent of what this vehicle is for the seating. She's like, so as I said, I think that it is important that we get you better able to blend in, which these help with for now, and better able to access the parts of this world, as you mentioned, Nero. But as Dent mentioned, you need to be able to pay for these things. And so the first stop is going to see the broker. He is a purveyor of goods and information. He will be willing to purchase from you some amount of items in exchange for credits, which then you can use. He will also give you clean, non-traceable cred sticks. This is useful. We will need to use these for everything else. I did not have... There's so much when you arrive first. I am trying to do with you in a matter of hours what was months for me. I am at least better able to do it than the people from Tira who were trying to explain it to me as if this was all normal. Or I guess it is normal, but without any point of reference from our lives to compare it to. There are certain advantages that we have in the kinds of things that we want to do in opposing the court. We do not appear in the records of citizens of this world. We do not have identi-chips that identify us wherever we go. This makes it possible for us to pass through much more easily. It is much easier to fake an ident-chip than it is to override one. So we can operate as ghosts within their system. But kind of have to cover a baseline to get there. So that is my goal for today, is to get that done and then contact the wise man to perhaps have you be able to speak with him. So the broker will buy items from your time. He is very interested in things of a magical nature. He is very interested in things of an antiquarian nature. He will, worst comes to worst, just convert your coinage into creds. But he will not necessarily buy too much because he needs to be able to sell it. And in my experience, he has been discreet. Does not sell us out to corpse. He bears no love to them either. But he is a businessman, first and foremost. He will not purchase more than he will be able to sell in a reasonable amount of time, if this makes sense.
Okay, so... Oh, that's...
I had like one super fast point of order. Not to impose weird timey-wimey stuff, but I would like to have on the trip here. I don't think Dent was really active in any conversations that were happening. I think he was mostly in his head, perhaps wanting to ask Ed if Ed had been able to witness what he had witnessed in that sort of quasi dream state. If that was something that Ed was registering as well.
Oh, yeah. So if you did that, just as a quick, no, but I can access that memory through my connection to you. You kind of went offline there for a little bit, buddy. It was weird.
Offline. Huh. Yeah, go for it. I'm interested in, perhaps where that was, who I was fighting for with, anything.
I've scanned that memory, but I don't seem to be able to link it to anything. As I mentioned, when the two of us integrated, I lost my connection to most of my information.
Mhm.
It does seem to be roughly related to another vision that I found in your memories of a battle with some big creepy things.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling too.
The locations look similar.
Okay. And it was on an island, apparently. Interesting. Okay. Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome, buddy. Yeah, and with that, Asana will sort of, I do not know what you perhaps have to sell. You could consider this, but I will take you to see the broker now. And she's gonna sort of walk in and sort of usher you into a building. There's sort of a storefront with a heavy heavy glass door. It's not like metal, so you can see through it. And yeah, you walk inside, and this looks very much like a tavern. More accurately, perhaps a restaurant for you. I think you all would have experienced that a little bit, but like there's tables, like you can smell food being cooked, and Asana's gonna sort of nod and keep walking and like tap a panel, and like a part of the wall will slide back. She's just gonna sort of keep going down the stairs.
Catch a follow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
me too.
if you all follow her down, it's sort of a couple of switchbacks of stairs, so you would now be below the surface of the ground. And you sort of turn, and there's a door which she'll knock on in sort of a 2-3 pattern. And there's a pause, and you're gonna sort of see a little light pass up and down. Door will slide open. She'll sort of wave you in, and you come in, and there's a counter. There's items sort of piled up on shelves. There's little like glimmering lights, like points of light under each of them. And there's a figure, a humanoid figure, again wearing a full mask, very similar to Asana's, just sort of sitting on a stool on the counter, and looks like they're not playing, but like fiddling with something with some very fine tools, which Ressa, you recognize now as Tinker's tools. And he's going to sort of look at me and he goes, yes, who have you brought to me today, Asana? More goods for yourself, or newcomers of an older vintage?
Less vintage.
You're Asana.
Yeah, well, she's so, no. Chris had said something, and I didn't hear what it was, and I wasn't sure if she was asking a question.
No, I just said he just called us vintage.
Oh, okay.
We smell, yes,
Your-
like
your-
very nice
Your
wine.
mask only, your mic only like half picked it up. So I was like, wait, was it a question? And
I
Asana would be
prefer old school.
Asana would be like, yes, they are travelers. Perhaps interested in offering you some interesting goods. And they'll sort of look at you and So, what do you have for the broker?
So ominous.
Can we start with just how much gold are you willing to buy? Because we have other things, but let's just start with as much of the gold as you'll take. I would like to swap for these credits.
Yeah, gold. Are they coin? From of
Yes.
perhaps
Yes.
the antique variety. Yes.
Oh yes, antique coins. That
Yes.
people collect this, right?
Yes, yes. This would those will go for 105 creds a piece. So
What?
For,
a credit is roughly equivalent to a copper. So he seems to be giving you a slight premium per coin if we were going by just straight transitions. Prices might be a little bit higher in some places, but the system that I'm using, which again is borrowed from the Technomancer's textbook, suggests credits at 1 credit is the equivalent of 1 copper. The exchange rate of you actually selling stuff from an impossibly old time is a different matter, but I would recommend you use the Electrum pieces slot on your character sheets in order to record this, because I don't ever give you Electrum because fuck that noise.
So I have, and I'll just like dump out 307 gold coins.
Okay. Someone was a collector, I see.
Yes, a
It's
collector.
It's all of our funds.
So do we want to exchange all of them now? Because what if we can't exchange them back?
Well,
I still have 63 gold for some reason.
I have
Right. I mean, I have a handful, but I mean, most of it
Right.
has gone to
Most of it has,
to
yeah.
keep.
and a copper
So-
piece that was thrown at my head.
Yes, I guess I should work that off of mine. It's not that I necessarily think that we need to exchange all of it. But we don't know how much we're going to need to buy what we need, and I think our first priority should be using what we have to buy what we need here, if that makes sense. Asana, do you have a sense of like how much of this
Keep some, I would say.
like I take like 50 back? That
Yes.
sum?
Might not be the worst idea. Look, it is a hard thing to judge. You must balance hope with also the fact that it is not going to be an easy task to get out of here. I do not.
Minnow pushes the 50 back into the pile.
She goes, the point I would say to you is, if you are concerned about coin, if my father is the man that I remember, or friend has perhaps indicated even a better man, if you can make it back, I do not think you will want for coin. Here, the organization will do what we can, but we are not wealthy, so...
With that, Catch will toss in the 57 gold pieces that he's holding.
I'll toss in my 63.
I would toss in mine, but first, kind of just general maintenance question: is gold used at all in artificing? Because if it is a
Ooh.
material, then maybe Ressa would want to hold on to some.
Good point.
Did you take it? Are you taking classes in artificing or?
I'm going to ask him about the Tinker's tools, but now I have proficiency with Tinker's tools, and I can smith things through magic too. So if I have...
So you would say, Ressa, with your Cleric of the Forge ability, that operates through metal. You haven't seen a whole lot of coinage. Like, there's been reference to these credits, and Asana mentioned like cred sticks. But like, you definitely saw people paying for stuff without using coins. It wasn't like they were putting money
Right.
into a coin slot. I would say artificing material is a bit different from the raw gold. Like, that you could probably buy using credits. You just need like ingots or something else if you were to need gold. You could do that for your Cleric of the Forge ability, but gold coins kind of obviate that because they're a nice, easy, oh, I've got this much gold. It now is a pole arm, you know.
Right.
That ability is wild. So that would be probably the only consideration for you, I would see. Anything that you would need with like Tinker's Tools, Alchemy, Artifice, etc., that would probably be easier to purchase like gold wire or something as an object, as opposed to trying to refine coins themselves. Your
Okay.
forge thing is a little bit different.
Yeah. Now, with the forge, could I, let's say, take a pile of broken down machinery or metals, and because I need to have the equivalent in materials, would I be able to magic from that, or does it have to be just the raw material?
It doesn't have to be just the raw materials. You require metal. You also require a value. And that's going to be kind of the part that would be hard to hit. You almost have to sacrifice the similar value. And so, like, scrap metal, you cannot imagine in this world would be worth a lot. So there you would need something of value in metal, because I believe that ability specifies you need that much in metal value. Like, you can't be like, here's a diamond and 2, like, rusty screws. Whee!
Right.
So that would be the only limitation.
Okay.
Now, I would also say that, you know, remember, it's the equivalent value of the thing you're making, and it's the value of the object. So, like, if you needed to make a key, or, you know, that's a couple of gold. Those aren't real expensive. Value and importance are disconnected here. That is more there to stop you from being like, yeah, sure, long swords for everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
So if we put all of our gold together, would then we split the credits evenly amongst the 5 of us? Or
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
assuming
think,
we all get wavy things.
yeah, that's fine. I think that, you know, one of the reasons I carry the gold a lot is that I don't trust Nero not to get robbed. So with credits, I think that's a little
Or
less.
to leave it in empty rooms when he
Or to
takes
leave it
things.
in empty room. Minnow cries a little.
I feel like the broker is now just sort of slowly... okay.
So I think maybe we keep some.
Yes, Chelsea. Also, Dellen. So we split it 6 ways.
Dylan can put in some money and we'll see.
2,473.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dellen will like.
What else do we have?
Dylan will push a bag with 50 gold pieces. Here's
Aw.
50.
So wait,
more
how
than
much
half.
how much is on the table
Same.
now? I put 307.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna
just what do you want to-
calculator.
Well, we can add them all together. Yeah, tell me the fuck. Don't tell me the fuck.
I have
fuck.
The
Tell
fuck.
me the amount people are putting in. So Elise,
307.
and then Chris,
57.
and then Heather.
50.
Plus a copper
then-
piece, Chris.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm
Dent.
keeping the copper piece.
Okay. 40 gold.
And how much was Dylan putting in?
50.
And then I have to actually look at mine because I don't remember off the top of my head. I have 42.
Have any of us bought anything ever in this campaign?
Not much.
I bought fish.
That's 5. Yeah, it's fair. I bought the silent finger symbols
Right, and we also
and the fancy wood carving tools.
That's 546, right?
Yes, 546.
Is
So
this
546 gold into credits.
should we keep the 46 and just make it even 500 just in case we get, you know, Nero said to be hopeful so we don't end up completely destitute if we get teleported back tomorrow?
Sure. So 46.
case.
So who keeps the 46?
Minnow.
No, continue carrying it.
Okay.
And then so 500. How much was it? 105.
That would be 500, yeah.
Was it 105 to
Yes.
one piece? Okay, so
500 times
500.
5. God, help me. Y'all are in the big numbers now.
57,300.
52,500.
Oh, right. I didn't take out the 46. My bad.
Oh, So 52,500 credits.
Divided by, are we just equal splitting that? 5 divided by 5?
6.
6 because
Dylan put money in.
Sounds like
Okay. We're going to
Like, I've
even
been here
split
the
with
whole
Dylan?
time. I've helped you with
I
everything.
have some more.
Are we even splitting with Dylan, or are we giving Dylan a nice little allowance, and then the rest of us are
he put in more than Dent did.
He put in more
yeah,
than I did.
except that
too.
remember Minnow had the party money, so not really.
Right. So a lot of the stuff was also like things that we'd earned. But Dylan has also helped us.
He's been
When
extremely
he
also
has
some
the
of that
power
party
to-
money was the money he paid you. So
I call that Dylan gets an equal share, but that's
Me
just
too.
Catch saying that, I mean, he's kind of earned his medal as far as Catch is concerned. He's an honorary marauder.
Fine. We can give the NPC an equal
Minnow is-
share.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like Dylan's going to turn us down if we need the credits.
Yeah, what's Dylan going to do? Say no to us?
Yeah, this is a good point. We do carry
Catch
a
will
lot
just
of
give
weight.
him a noogie.
Yeah, but then like, what's the point? Why don't we just keep that money and not make
Because
it like
we're good people and we're not metagaming that Dylan's an NPC.
we have to like go and ask the NPC, hey Dylan, can you give us back our money that you paid us to do the job that we're still doing? And like, okay.
Elise, in real life, are you a human rogue?
Would she tell you?
I am not a robot.
Okay, everybody
Bananas.
gets 87.
Nobody give me the captcha code right now. Okay, how much do we all get?
8,750.
8,000. Including Dylan. Galway, mark that down. Because I will be making Dylan pay for things.
On this
from now
day,
on.
Minnow Rowe gave Dylan equal share.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
Do we want to also give items, or do we feel like this is enough? Asana is 52,000.
just a second, I need to write down. Dylan has 8750 creds. Minnow/Elise is displeased. Is the parenthetical note after that?
Beautiful.
I would perhaps recommend, if you have anything that you are not using that might interest the broker, it would not. Turning your items into creds will be significantly harder at. Why is he doing that? Why is it not making sound? What is happening?
Magic.
I have these magically silenced finger symbols.
Those are interesting.
I don't
Are
think
I
I want to
supposed
sell
to-
those. Don't.
Oh,
want
I
to sell those.
mean,
I have
I
this
have
great
these,
sword, and I
and
flip
I
and
will-
the great sword just.
I have these, and I will continue to have these. Then I guess.
I'm not
And I put them
entirely
in my
sure
pocket.
why you showed me. Okay then. You have a great. Interesting.
I have a hand
Don't-
axe.
Asana, you're gonna tell me that 52,000 credits is not really enough?
Think about what you're trying to accomplish.
I don't want to do that.
Fair. We do not do this. You are trying to accomplish big things, which perhaps you will be ready to think about tomorrow, perhaps the day after. You also are going to need to buy potentially a substantive amount of alcohol, clothes.
Good idea.
Minnow, would you care for a calm emotion spell? Might make you feel a little better about the
I think
whole
Elise is thinking about it.
thing.
Read me the text of the spell. Would that work? If I just have like low key constant anxiety, does that like make
Well,
me
it's
feel happy?
only for a minute, unfortunately. But
Isn't it like really big? I mean, I guess Minnow's probably. Let's be
Yeah.
real here. Minnow's having some feelings.
you attempt to suppress strong emotions. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius fear centered on a point you choose within range must make a charisma saving throw. You can choose to fail this saving throw if you wish. If it fails a saving throw, I can suppress any effect causing a target to be charmed or frightened. Or you can feel indifferent about creatures of your choice that you're hostile towards.
Just like keep Minnow on this calm emotion drug for. Here's your Xanax.
Too bad it's not a cantrip.
Yeah. You know what? Save it for when I really need it. Maybe, if the panic bubbles to the surface,
you just
slap
let
that
me
on
know.
me.
You just let me know.
I'll let you know by probably looking at you with tears gushing down my face, going, ah, like that.
I'm fairly sure Del will look over. I'm pretty sure you'll know when you should. I think that will be evident to everyone generally for when. Boop.
Broker, I have a question.
I may have answers.
I realize that we have no established line of credit with your beautiful, flawless organization.
I'm really not liking where this question is going.
How do you feel about loans? How would you feel about granting us a loan, which we will repay you handily?
Asana brought you here as friends of a particular vintage, which means there's about I don't know, you look pretty capable and you just materialized that blade out of nowhere. So I'm going to say a 30% chance that Drakon is putting you into the chipper within a week. So not great business sense for me to give you a loan.
Can I roll an insight on him?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm this businessman who's like, it's a bad idea to loan you money because you might die. What are you trying to insight? I do want to know that before you roll. What are you going for?
I'm basically trying to see if he's like short selling us with like what it is that we are putting on the table.
Oh, okay. So if you're trying to figure out, are you getting a fair price? Okay. I was like,
yeah.
I'm just going to spare you a roll. You're pretty sure he thinks it's a bad fucking business decision to loan money to people that Drakon is 100% after.
I agree with that much. I just figured it was worth a shot of asking. Oh man, a 9. Jesus, I don't like
you
that.
You rolled a 10 and then got a 9. Oh, I forgot. Negative mods. You have a really hard time getting a read. Because you basically only have large scale like body language and his voice to go off of, which is kind of muffled because it's coming through a mask. Like you don't have any of the facial expressions or anything else. So you just sort of like,
Asana, if we are incapable of acquiring the needed funds to procure the needed garments to appropriately get us unnoticed through Moontree City, is there any other avenues we could be pursuing?
Suggesting theft? This one keeps talking about grabbing people. This one is just not able to think about today, which I understand. I'm just confused. What is the nature of your... You easily have enough money to acquire clothing, to acquire some basic goods and necessities. The point that I was making is that if you had any valuables on your person that you brought with you, this would be your best opportunity to turn that into useful funds. I am not suggesting you get rid of anything you feel you would use, but just this is an opportunity to do so.
Don't we need items that are possibly connected to our time to get back? Aren't those important to keep?
You're gonna see her sort of flinch as you're mentioning like your time and getting back. She's like,
Oh,
fine.
she defo didn't warn us not to say these things in front of the broker, so
she was and
To
he
get
does seem
back
to know.
in time is what my
Nero would not pick up on this if
was
she was not
trying to
explicit.
say.
So
No, fair. No. And she understood what you were going for, and I think she's now filing a way that Nero needs to be more explicitly told. Say directly to the nice one. She goes, it is mainly if there are any items that you do not have need of that you would like to change. If not, then I think that we are good for now. It is your choice.
So I guess my question is, and I'm gonna point to Minnow at the weird crossbow that she has. Are those kind of the weapons that we're gonna have to use? So like what I currently have is not useful?
What you have is certainly useful. It is more there might be upgrades of other varieties. And she's going to sort of wave a hand, and you're going to see sort of a floating projection display sort of go over her face. Like, there is much information in this world that can only be accessed through certain means. There are also upgrades that can be offered. There are armaments that you could find. There are armors to protect yourselves. There are services that could be purchased. I do not mean to say that what you have right now is useless. Merely that if you wish to have upgrades, this is probably your best chance to have.
If we take this stuff back, we're gonna be gods.
You're gonna see us on and be like,
And that's how
Well.
Asana founds Drakon Corp.
Oh.
Anyway,
I mean, does anyone have any weapons that they want to sell?
I have
I
a
can get rid
hand
of
axe that I
this
don't
rapier
use.
that I don't need.
And say, I have a
Okay,
short
use it.
sword now that I won't be using now that I have Lost Legacy. And I'm contemplating getting rid of the crossbow. But I guess it also depends, like, what are we looking at for how much are we going to get in return?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few things I can absolutely get rid of.
could show and ask, and he might give you a estimate.
So
Yeah.
generally, he's gonna buy things for around their gold piece conversion cost. He's not super interested in mundane items, like just mundane weapons. It seems like he's more interested in either things that would have historical interest, like the coins sort of have a historical interest to them. Plus, fundamentally, you're not sure. You think he might just melt them down, or magical items. Sort of like
Gotcha, well,
either
he's not-
information.
So a
about that?
really finely crafted warhammer wouldn't be intriguing.
Russ is like, oh,
That's my primary weapon there.
I have a warhammer, is why I mentioned this.
You think that he would probably buy about the equivalent of 50 gold pieces of mundane weapons from you, but not much more.
From the
about
whole
the-
party or us
From the whole
individually?
party.
Damn it. Okay.
The cat curse ring. I mean,
That's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna lose something.
I mean, we also don't have to sell anything else, right? Like, we can just hold on to stuff. Like,
Yeah, and
Everything else I
over
have
the
is
table
mundane.
as the DM, like I'm kind of trying to say that within characters, but this is mainly you have an easy opportunity here to convert stuff you already have to creds because your stuff ain't gonna work to buy anything. Obviously, switching most of the coin is probably a good idea because it's just currency to currency. If you're good with this, you 100% will have covered the basic stuff that like she would get for you today. It's more when you get into, you would even cover some basic armaments. The equivalent of like the pistol that you have, Minnow, is only about like 1,000 credits. So you could get that. You would be able to get ammo for it. Like, you'd be okay. It's more when you get into higher end stuff, like biotech augments, which those would get pricier.
I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
mean-
I would get none of these things, so I could absolutely share some credits with people because I don't do armor and I won't do guns, and I have a feeling that I wouldn't do biotech augments.
I'm happy
So-
to dump in my Warhammer that has literally never once seen use, just to like
Yeah.
give us an extra whatever 50 gold converts to.
That's 15 is the value.
Yeah, and like same with my
1.5.
rapier, like just
How
toss
much
it.
is a quarterstaff worth? I have my old quarterstaff, but
Rapier is 25, so that's gotten you to 40.
Hand axe.
I like that I'm just going through like a D&D database, like values. Hand axe is 5. You're at 45.
what about my quarterstaff, my old one?
Fuck it. It's just 5 gold pieces. I don't care.
I
I'm
All right, we made it to 50.
You made it to
Yay.
50, so that is another 50 times 100 for the creds.
All right, I'm
500.
removing Warhammer
Plus
from
50
my
times
No.
5.
5.
Did I say 50 times 100 is 500? I meant 5,000.
Okay, I was like, what?
Mhm.
It seems like
Are we splitting those 1,000 each? Dylan's not getting in on that, is he?
Well, because also, but it's also 5 times 50, right? Because it's 105 conversion. So
No, that was just for the gold. That was
for the gold because that was much more movable.
Oh.
okay,
So
got it.
1,000 each. Sorry, Dylan.
That's fine.
Sure.
he
Well,
didn't contribute a weapon
mean-
this time.
I didn't contribute either. You guys
Yeah, but you're
all reached 50
catch.
before I could put
But you're a
anything.
marauder.
Put
Well,
it
you
in
can
the
still
book.
put in anything. I'm not done. I just was putting in a.
Well, no, he said he would only do 50 gold. So I'm not going to give him something if we're not going to get anything for it.
Gotcha.
You know,
I mean, you
I
can
might-
do what you want instead of my quarterstaff.
No, it's fine as long as we got to 50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're at an even 50
So
Right.
yeah.
because I'm not looking up the like increasingly small gold piece value of different items. It's like fine. He's like, yeah, fine. That's a passel. Here's 5,000 for that set of antique weapons.
Feels weird deleting my actual quarterstaff from all my stuff.
All right.
Okay, is there anything else we want to get rid of? Does anyone? I mean, I'm not getting rid of the Wavering Menace, so
All
I
have
would
are these.
like those Tinker's tools, perhaps, though.
Well, sort of. Oh, you're interested in such things.
I am.
If there are
Very
Smith's
much so.
tools, though,
I've got Smith's tools.
I can always borrow yours. I don't need
I
them.
can.
Are all the tools because apparently I can be proficient in a tool and I need to look those up.
Well, I'll have Smiths and Tinkers.
So as he'll sort of like push sort of one across the counter at you. It is a little bit different than kind of what you picture in your mind. It has several sort of pieces in the set that you don't remember.
Okay.
But he would nod and he goes, yes, this is a standard, perhaps above standard
Mhm.
operator's set of tools. If you would be interested. That is itself about 5,000 credits.
Oh,
Tinker's tools actually themselves are 50 gold pieces.
okay. Wow. Oof. Asana, how much am I going to need for clothes and such?
Not too much. Probably 1,000, 1,500, and then another 1,000 for the basic augment. Couple thousand. I don't know what weapons you might wish to purchase.
Is it going to be easy enough to come back here? Because that's a big chunk of the credits that we just got.
She's gonna sort of look. If it is Tinker's tools that you are interested in, I have an operative set. I could let you use it from time to time if you know how to use it.
I do. All right. I think I'm gonna pass on these for now. Sorry about that.
Not at all. Anything else, or is our business here?
I mean, I don't have anything else to give.
I'm set.
It's gonna sort of he's gonna sort of look at you for a second, Nero, and you're kind of like, I don't have anything else to give. He's gonna he's just gonna reach down and hand you and sort of push across here, a gift for travelers from afar. And he's gonna sort of push it towards you, Nero.
Insight check.
I take it without checking.
I'm
my
sure
God.
you do. As you see, like, there's a little thumb switch on the side of it. It's a small sort of metal.
Should I click it?
Well, I didn't mean to click that.
You cannot use I got this because you would have disadvantage on this roll as you are exhausted.
I was
Okay.
trying to read it. I clicked the wrong thing.
That's a fumble.
Natural one.
That's a nat one.
Can't you re-roll those?
No.
She's not a halfling. Human rogue.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what's
Human.
wrong?
I just love how hardcorely you were just like, clearly Elise is a halfling. You can re-roll once. So like,
you can re-roll
Yeah,
one.
Pippa, you can totally re-roll
Yeah,
these,
Pippa, get that roll. Yeah.
you also just said the best part about that, Rachel, was it took me a beat. You're like,
Yeah.
can't you re-roll once? And I'm like, don't think that was her feat.
No.
What did I? No. Oh,
It's
wait, you
gotten
think it's a
worse
halfling?
Since I played with you as a halfling, so
Yeah.
Um,
In our other campaign, I am a halfling. So
you,
Jesus Christ.
you also have a very hard time reading this guy because his face is covered. There's very little body language. But like you sense maybe like the only thing you can maybe put it down to is like a personal fondness for Nero.
Can I also roll insight through insightful heart?
Yeah. But I don't think the insightful heart gives you advantage itself, so you'll still have disadvantage
No.
on this roll.
So, I do have disadvantage. All right.
I mean, you got a
Well-
good wisdom mod. You're not the like clinically suspicious minnow, but
Reminder, we have disadvantage on all things because we're exhausted.
because
Okay,
you're still
thank you.
tired as hell.
Thanks for the reminder. I was like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
9. It's real hard to get any read of him. There's not a like he's so covered that there's not much for you to read off of.
Yeah.
Why? What is it? Should I press the button?
Yes, I think you might find that entertaining.
No, no.
I'm gonna like hover a finger over it, but look at catch. Like I shouldn't press it.
Gonna check for traps.
What?
I-
It is not.
Not gonna
was a joke.
explode.
Sorry.
No offense to you, Mr. Broker, but
I'm sure some taken.
okay. I mean a little offense because I don't know that I really don't. I don't trust anyone here. I mean,
Fair, and a good way to stay alive.
you. I mean, it's a button, and you gave it to
Here.
one member of our party that I feel
Here.
like
Give it-
intentionally gave it to because you knew that they would press the button.
I will give it back to you. Just here, hand it to me.
Oh, all right.
He'll take it and like press the button, and above it you're just gonna see like a little projection of light, of just like a little like animal, sort of like dancing. It's like, here, hits the button again. It turns off. I'll hand it back to you. That is all it does.
Is it the same animal every time?
No, it changes.
Just
You're
press it
gonna be
again.
broken. So you've
What
got
animal
one
is it
hand
this
with
time?
the
Playing the silent symbols next to my
As-
dancing light animal.
As you do that, it does look like it is following along to like sort of the beat of this, even though there's no sound.
When the button was clicked, did it click?
Oh yeah, when you press the button again, this time it's up and it's basically a dog. This time.
But like it made a noise.
But did it make a noise?
Oh yes, on that yes.
Yeah.
There's a very faint one. It's not like a
Okay.
it's not like
Yeah.
a switch. It's a button.
As in, it's not a silent
It
prestige.
does not seem
a
like it is
silent prestige
no.
thing. Yeah.
This
I'll
is
also
the
say, just like to
third-
disambiguate it, like something goes by outside, like in like there's a little flare of music, and you can see the dance shift slightly. It seems like it just responds to music in the environment.
This is the third nicest thing that anyone has ever done for me.
I am glad, and also question experiences you've had at this point. Now, if we are concluded with our business, perhaps you can head on out. I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors.
Thank you for the creds. We have these little.
So now
cred
what
stick
he's going to do
things
is
now,
he's going to
right?
hand you, like with you having been done, he was sort of tallying it. He's going to hand you, if especially you, I kind of assume you were saying out loud how you were splitting stuff. Like you actually said to Dylan, hey, right? He's going to hand you each a stick. And as he does, he kind of swipes it past one of these little plates and you can see the number pop up. And it is the split that you've each said. So each of you have what you should have. Dylan has the same thing, minus 1,000.
As Dylan gets his 8,750, just glares.
When this happens, did that split include the additional 50 gold?
Yes.
Yes, you have an
Yeah.
extra 1,000.
As he gives me my little cred card thing, I give him a piece of fish jerky.
Thank you. That is.
It's
fine.
it's aged jerky.
Isn't. Anyway, thank you.
All right.
So yeah, if you're all done, you can head back up the stairs.
I click it again, and then again, what's the next animal?
Why do I do this to myself? It's a deer.
It's a deer!
Oh my god.
Random animal generator
I
now.
start doing some jingle bells. to
Oh,
have an
oh,
animal.
geez, no! This is the new Twitch command.
Oh god.
Right, you are. Gonna work on that.
Oh.
Yes.
All right. So as you all head out.
Catch ask Asana as we're leaving, like without it out of earshot of the broker, like exactly like how trustworthy is this guy? I mean, like he's not gonna go and like tell one of those Dracon assholes that we are here,
No.
is he?
No. Damn, lost the voice. Wrong NPC. No. He bears no love to the corpse. He does not work with my organization directly, but he bears no love to the corpse. He's an information broker as well as a purchaser and seller of goods, and his reputation for not selling anyone out, I think, is worth much more to him than any single turning someone into anyone would be.
And is he known for giving gifts?
That he is not. And often I'm trying to think, like, I trust you all to do this, and plus I've already made it clear that it's not going to be easy to get back to the broker. So instead of having everybody jump off, I'll just play out this scene for you all and the audience. as you all have gotten up and gotten into the car, behind the sort of desk, you're going to see the broker like pull his mask off and put his helmet down, and you'll see a drow man with a bit of stubble, and then you're going to sort of see him go. And in his hand is a small piece of paper, and he'll open it, and on it you see the words, "I owe you one connected item," and he'll flicker between being a drow and being an elvish man with a long red braid. Took you long enough.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
So wait a second. This guy has
Gosh
answers.
dang it! Go away!
He's immortal. He's a meta.
Shut up!
He's a meta. What are they called?
Forever, so he has all the answers we freaking need.
He's a multi-mana.
He's an
I don't know.
old fart, is what
He's
he
a
is, but he's got all
multi-mana.
the answers that we need.
He's
Holy
immortal.
Son of a bitch.
My brain is exploding.
Recognized me from however many years
Yeah,
ago.
like 3,000 years later, he's like, got it.
Right, that one who talked a lot. Uh-huh. Oh, so excited.
Oh my god.
And he gave you a little hollow cube that produces dancing animals.
I mean, literally, what else would I want more than that? So,
He found a
Damn
connected item.
yeah.
Yeah. So it is 10:42, and I think we will be able to say. I think actually there'll be one more part of this the scene. We'll do one more sort of briefer scene on the shopping trip, and then we'll leave the last part of it for next time. So Asana's like, well, with you all having credits, there are two options. One is if you wish to be able to interact with panels, and the other remote scans, you will require a data jack. And she's gonna actually sort of like move. There's actually she lifts up essentially a flap of skin on her neck, and there's a small port. She's like, this is how you can connect to the networks.
Wait, what?
Can I take a look at that?
Of course.
I mean, from like interested from a medical standpoint.
Yeah, and so what
is,
it looks like is there's a small sort of port that has been inserted, and you can feel like there's a like bump underneath the skin, and then it has essentially artificial skin over the top of it. You can't really discern that from looking, but when you sort of feel it, you can tell that this was artificially put in to cover where this data port is. And she's like, this is very standard. Most people have them. That is how, if you have seen most people, there are two ways of paying without using cred stick directly, which is unusual. Either it is a biometric scan. That won't go well for you because you don't exist. You want to keep it that way.
Nero just starts touching himself like,
You're also going to see...
I realized the phrasing after I said it.
You're going to see Asana pause and turn slightly to Minnow because like she hasn't started driving. I am realizing that your friend is very literal, yes?
Oh, so literal.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. We will consider how to do this. No, I mean, you do not exist in their registry of people, and we want to keep it that way. That is the part where I mentioned ghosts sort of within the system. So we could either take a drive to get those, to get data ports, or we could just get you some clothes first. It is your choice.
Are they gonna be able to data port me? Is this
During-
something that all of us are gonna need?
You're gonna see her mind just like sort of tick over on the like. She has her mask on again and everything, but you just sort of see her entire body posture go. You might require something different, special, but you seem to have a mind, and what would be
Well, thanks. So do
normally
you.
referred to as a personality, so I would think you can. Even if your physical form is different, they may require a different type of interface, but I am not an expert on these.
I'm sorry. I don't think Dent would have actually said that, but that was just Sam's gut reaction on behalf of Dent. Gosh.
You also should remember to, over the table, not at all upset about that, and you can have that be something that Dent actually said or not. You should remember that there seem to be a lot of things that look like Dent here that do not seem to have free will or operate in the same way that Dent does, where Dent is a person. Like, Minnow did not get the sense from looking at the shop attendants that they did anything other than be a shop attendant. So she may be suggesting like you wouldn't put this kind of data port on that, but I don't think you're that. So
How do we have to get data ports? I mean, I know we can't do the bio
no, you do not
scan.
if you do not wish them. It is simply potentially useful.
Well, then if it was going to go on anyone, putting it on me would be the least harmful. Or Dylan.
What?
Dylan
Dylan looks up from just like looking at like the dancing deer. Like what?
It was a joke, Dylan.
Oh.
I'm offering if there's a way.
Asana, can you just tell us again all the things a data port can do? It's a way of paying for things.
You can pay for things. You can connect to the networks. You can base other types of augments, other types of capabilities. You have expressed an interest in the weapons of this time. There are many interfaces with the weapons that depend on a data port that essentially let you enhance your targeting or the types of damage you can do. I leave it up to you. If you wish to, for now, the only item that I would say we absolutely must do before we contact anyone else is getting you some clothes. We can always contact later.
Start with clothes. Unless others think we should start with data port.
I mean, how does everyone else feel about getting a data port? We obviously need clothes. The data port, so if I'm understanding this correctly, I would have access to the information, to books, parchments.
Yes.
Rolls?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Like just in our brains, or we have to do something to
hook up to some hook up. That's what you said, right?
Certain networks are remotely accessible. Others would require direct access. I do not think it is.
The wire in.
Yes.
Would it be weird to not have a data port? Would that make us stand out?
The only thing I will say is that later, I mentioned ident chips. Those are a thing that are read standardly. As long as we are in sort of crowds or larger places, it will not be noticed if there are some biosignatures, people walking around that perhaps don't have them. You cannot pay for things, you cannot scan things. if you had a data port, we could load virtual ident chips. Otherwise, we're going to have to put physical ones in you. It'll be a little harder to swap those.
Data
All right.
port is.
I think I will go for a data port.
I think I'd like to get clothes first.
Clothes we can start with, yeah.
I don't think I would register on their biometric scanners.
A separate issue that
Considering
I
I
wish
don't
to
have
speak to
organic
Wise Man
matter.
about.
The who?
Wise Man, the person, the main leader of the group that I work with.
So the wise man ever asked you to drink Kool-Aid or
Or eat a red berry.
it's just a very interesting name to kind of okay, let's get clothes. I can't make more decisions
So
yet.
so you'll head back, and actually, yeah, like she said, she's gonna end up taking you to the same sort of shopping district. It's not very busy at the moment.
Check for Mr. Jimbles.
Give me a perception check.
I just wanted to roll a dice. And plus, I want to find Mr. Jimbles.
At disadvantage.
Ah, beans. Well, that's a 12. And then,
12. As you land and you're sort of walking along, this time you're able to walk more openly. You have sort of, there's less people around, and you have the sort of overcloaks that Asana gave you, so you blend in much better. You do see sort of several Tressum sitting, and one of them has the sort of silver gray wings, and the patterning that in your very sleep deprived, adrenaline fueled state, you're pretty sure was Mr. Jimbles. And you're going to see the cat sort of looking, spread his wings and sort of flap over to you in a light. Sort of rubs your ankle.
Hi, Mr. Jimbles. Can I scritch your top of your head? Yeah. Oh. I just wanted to say hi, see how you were doing. Did you want some more? And I pull out another, it's like little bit of rations to.
He'll sort of chomp down on the food and proceed to sort of walk along with you as you're going.
So clothes? Are we doing
Are
that
we
now?
doing this now, or
Yeah.
are we?
Well, I mean, and basically, this is not complicated. You can buy, there'll be 1,500 credits each for basically just street clothes. This is not armor or anything else. This is the equivalent of traveler's clothes. This is not a district where you could get armor.
So we'd be down to 82.50 if we all did this.
I would, yeah. Cool.
I'm just saying it to help other people.
Oh. So we have to get these clothes to blend in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Are these clothes that I would be able to wear my chainmail under?
Yeah, I'm wondering, can I still wear like?
There are a variety of styles of this clothing. Like some of them are a little bit more like sort of like a tunic and pants, but there are also things that are much closer to looser, sort of baggier, more flowing clothes. And those you think you could at least passably get over chainmail, especially if you had one of these cloaks over that.
Okay. That's the style that I would go for.
Yep.
And Rachel, what was that amount you said?
You would be down to 82.50.
82.50.
Yeah.
How much did it cost?
1,500.
Jeez Louise.
I would just put all my
this is
like
kind of
actual
for
monastery robes into a bag then too. Like,
and this is
I
kind of
wouldn't
for
want
like a couple of sets of clothes. You also notice that these cloaks are kind of ubiquitous because it's just raining all the time. Like it has been raining this entire time. So you think that people end up sort of having heavier clothes. The clothes also seem slightly waterproofed compared to what you're used to. Like they are not absorbing water, and just you probably still though need to change them a bit more. But yeah. With that, I think we can go ahead and wrap up for tonight. Mr. Jimbles is still sort of trotting along after y'all, accepting pets from anyone who offers pets.
I buy him a little hat.
You can ride on my shoulder if you want, Mr.
Put a little
Jimbles.
hat on his head. Like I bought him like a toddler hat.
And
Oh my God.
Jebediah check-in.
Are you trying to buy a little hat for Jebediah, or?
No, I just want to know how he's doing.
Nero checks in with Jebediah every night before bed too.
Yeah.
Just to, But
I kind of assume that if something is wrong with Jebediah, I should tell Nero at some point here.
I'm assuming Jebediah, when I pull him out, is just licks his eyeball.
Yep. As he does.
And I'll point him towards Asana and be like, "This is Berdir's daughter. Do you remember that you spoke with him? She seems nice." And then I'll put him back.
But yeah. Sure. Go ahead and deduct an additional let's call it 200 credits. No, 100 credits. That's a gold piece. That's fair. I was losing the conversion ratio in my head.
Yeah.
For a tiny hat for Mr. Jimbles.
It's a bowler hat.
You just sort of like offer it, and you just sort of see the cat.
Mr. Jimbles has a hat. I know. He really is. He's yep.
And I'm not sure if you are enabling Nero or Rachel or both. I'm fairly certain it's both.
Mr. Jimbles has a bowler hat.
Mr. Jimbles has a bowler hat. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. Tune in tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for a very different part of tier, as we do a tier one shot, tier the balance, which will occur earlier than any of the previous tier campaigns. There are some interesting tie-ins with this one already, and some interesting tie-ins with some other elements of the world. As I mentioned, we are Helpful Goat Gaming. If you use !Discord, you can join our Discord where we hang out, do movie nights, chat about our games, etc. Follow us here on Twitch. If you enjoy more of this, we'll be playing this again in 2 weeks. And then tier tomorrow at 2 Eastern. From all of us here at Helpful Goat, thank you so much for watching. Be safe, be well, and be kind to yourselves and to each other. Love you.
Night.
Good night.